sun is shining on Sheffield today, but who will be basking in glory come tomorrow night? What a start for Kyren Wilson, laying down a marker right from the off here with a magnificent total clearance of 129. So Kyren Wilson on top in the early stages of this year's World Championship final. He started with the total clearance of 129. Jack Jones has been unable to get anything going. The key thing though here is that when Wilson's been making mistakes, they just have gone completely unpunished. That's going to have to change. 62, a quick kill. Jack Jones missed that ready, opened the lot up. And Kyren Wilson has moved further in front. 5-0 with 3 frames left to play here this afternoon. 2 centuries in the session, completely outplaying Jack Jones. He presses on, it's 7-0.
Collector's either a missed shot like that at mid-range.
Well, the evening will be a serious affair, but it's Kyren Wilson who's firmly on top. Jack Jones has won his first frame, but my word, he has it all to do.
If you're from Cumbrian, you're from Wales, or you simply like underdogs, it doesn't make pretty reading as Jack Jones trails the world number 12 by 6 frames. It was a pretty impressive session this afternoon for Kyren Wilson, but as for us here in the studio, delighted to be joined by Rhiannon Evans and Alan McManus. And Al, just touching on Jack Jones, fairly impervious in the 4 previous matches, unravelled in the last session that we just saw. Were there any clues in those previous matches that kind of led to what we saw?
Perhaps he's not acclimatised to the fact that the 4 opponents that he's beaten to get here, what is it, Zhang Anda, C, Trump and Bingham, they haven't played well against him. That's just a fact. They haven't played anything like the way they can. And if you get to the final here, yes, it's nice to win comfortably, but you like to be tested and then come through those tests. He hasn't had to do that in terms of his opponents playing that way. And maybe that's because Kyren, as we know, was right on it from the off today. And that's, I think, the chief reason why he's found this so difficult.
Yeah, on a positive, on a human level, anyone who's even slightly neutral is now pro Jack Jones.
Oh, most definitely. He's definitely gained some new fans. Yeah, you can't knock the way he's just gone about his business. As Alan said, his opponents haven't played amazing, but that's not his problem. He's just stuck in his own bubble, stuck to what he knows and how he knows how to do it. So, yeah, he just needs to make sure he can loosen up a little bit tonight, enjoy it a little bit more. That session earlier on has gone. He's got to start from scratch. It's 0-0. And, yeah, he needs to enjoy himself and loosen up out there.
We're definitely going to enjoy it this evening. If you are just joining us, this session will be crucial for Jack. But Al, can he do it? Can he come back from this position?
Of course he can, but it's down to him. I would never give up. You never, ever say die in this game. And there's a long, long way to go. This is test match snooker. We're only day 1 so far. There's another 3 to go in terms of sessions. I think it's good tonight that it's an odd frame session. It's 9 tonight. Someone's going to win it. Jack has to make sure that it's him. 6-3, yes, 7-2 is the dream, but he's got to win it, I think. If he doesn't win this session tonight, it's almost gone.
And were he to come back, by the way, Jack Jones will officially be a hero, it is safe to say. And talking about heroes, our Rachel is joined by one right now.
Well, don't wait for tomorrow, because tomorrow won't wait for you. That is the philosophy, certainly, that Kyren Wilson has taken into this final so far. What an awesome performance. But he has given Jack Jones chances, Jimmy.
Yeah, Jack Jones in the first 4 frames has had a couple of chances, didn't take them, especially in the second frame. I'm glad he won the last frame. You know, final of the World Championship, first time there. Understandably, he's a bit nervous, but Kyren knows that he's got to get in front. He's done his job so far. This session tonight, 9 frames. I think Jack needs to win at least 6 of these frames to have any chance.
Massive session and a massive night of snooker coming up. We're literally perched here on the balcony. Don't fall over, Jimmy, please. And great view. I mean, it's an incredible occasion, isn't it? But by no means is Kyren on the brink or anything. He still has to win 11 frames to get this done. From Jack Jones' perspective, What would you be telling him? I mean, he's come so far.
Yeah, I'll be telling him, you know, like, this is expected. Like, Kyren's come out, played the same level as he played in every session in this match. You're playing in the biggest tournament in the world, the biggest prize, in the best venue. You know, try and enjoy it, loosen up a bit. But when you get your chances, you must take them.
And he hasn't done that so far. But, of course, we saw against Stuart Bingham 3-0 down. He said he came out, his hands were sweating.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm sure that is the worst feeling ever as a snooker player. Just not being able to get a chance, but just feeling so bad.
Yeah, and the problem is that Kyren is such an aggressive player. He won't sort of, you know, protect his lead. He will keep attacking and keep scoring. So Jack, to win this championship, has got to play top draw snooker every session.
And Kyren has been ruthless and relentless. We saw that actually even in the very first round against Dominic Daly. Gave absolutely nothing. So he's not really one to take the foot off the gas, but he will have to tighten up in some departments. Yeah, he's what Kyren is all about. He believes he's going to be world champion. He's done everything he can this season. He's not had a great season winning tournament-wise, but he's got prepared properly for this competition, and he's played the best. And so far, he's in front in the final, deservedly so. The best so far, but not quite done yet. No. You're done for tonight. You're going to be heading off and looking forward to this session. Yeah,
I should still watch it for sure.
Absolutely. And, well, this is the best seat in the house, so I might just stay put. Thank you so much, Jimmy.
Cheers,
back to you guys.
I don't blame you, Rachel. Great to hear from you. Great to hear from Jimmy. And actually, it's thanks to players like Jimmy White that the constant of 1977 this began, that the Maybank holiday and Sheffield has always meant the World Snooker Championship, but possibly not so. Rachel's got more.
Sheffield, a thriving creative hotspot perched on the edge of the beautiful Peak District. Historically, this Yorkshire gem known to many as a great industrial city.
The World Snooker Championship arrived here 47 years ago, and the City of Steel soon became the home of snooker. This year, though, with its contract up for renewal in 2027, the future of snooker at the Crucible remains uncertain.
There's a certain argument to say that we should actually take the World Championships around the world to a different venue every year.
Ultimately, money talks. I think if you ask the players honestly, that unless you're someone that's so set for life, if you said to them, you can go somewhere else, it's going to be double or potentially triple the prize money, everyone's going to say, OK, I'm going. And if they're not saying yes to that, then they're lying to you, I'm afraid.
I don't actually like the Crucible, to be honest with you. I'd much rather it move anywhere but the Crucible. I know it's a great venue, but I don't like playing there for 17 days. So for me, if it goes anywhere but the Crucible would be brilliant.
One thing that cannot go amiss is the buzz, nostalgia and togetherness the World Championship brings to Sheffield. And not only that, but to the people who've been coming to this event for decades.
It's been everything in my life. The people I've met, coming up here every year on a dark winter's morning, it gets me out of bed to go to work because of the thought of, oh, it's for Sheffield.
The history of the game is here, and all the magical moments, finals, semi-finals.
We're so welcomed by everyone in Sheffield. People travel far and wide. That just shows you sort of how special this venue is.
It's just such a special arena, you know. It's just intense, and you're never fully relaxed out there, and it keeps you on your guard.
Hopefully something can happen that benefits the whole tour rather than a select few. However that is, I mean, I don't know.
Despite the issues that may lie ahead for this great venue, both players past and present all hold the same sentiment that the Crucible and snooker go hand in hand.
It's a beautiful piece, that, actually, and you felt the storyline there because we all care about the Crucible, we all care about snooker. For you, Rianne, is the World Champs, is it about venue or is it about the title?
As Rachel said in that VT there, it goes hand in hand. People just love the Crucible. It brings up things that you never expect. Even the best players can crack in under this pressure, in this environment, the intensity out there. The audience are so close to you, they feel part of the event. I think even if you expanded the capacity, I think you would lose a little bit of that. So for me, it's the history and everything that goes with it all brings it together like the walk from you got the 2 tables to the 1 table, the setup, and yeah, everything about it just brings history, and that's all players who have picked up a cue ever wanted to play, pick the World Trophy up here at the Crucible. And players always say that they want tournaments to stay in that one place to build up the atmosphere and everything like that, and this is virtually the only one, apart from the Masters now maybe, that does sustain it through the season. So yeah, I think it should stay personally.
Well said. Al, for you, if it did go elsewhere, what would it lose?
It would lose an awful lot. It would lose an awful lot, and not just the people that come here to watch the championship, but in the players themselves. You think of Davis, Hendry, Higgins, O'Sullivan. Let's take Steve Davis. He would have spent, I would guess, about 3 years of his life in this old building by playing in it and working here. It's a huge part of their lives. John Higgins said it, that he feels privileged, and it remains a privilege to come here, and whoever wins it, he's thankful for the fact that he stood out there with that thing above his head 4 times. And yeah, Barry Hearn said about we can't spend history. He's right in that, but I think what we must remember, you can love history, you can enjoy history and the heritage that this place has given our sport, and it's going to be 50 years come 27, isn't it, when we, might leave here. It's difficult to speculate because we don't know. I mean, just look at that. That is ingrained in all of our memories. I was 11 years old, glued to that, watching Baby Lauren coming on, and probably the most iconic image we've ever had here was Alex. And there's another one, of course, 3 years later with Dennis, the black ball final. Who forgets that? Anyone of a certain age. It would be a terrible, terrible shame if we ever move from here.
Well said, Al. And just in terms of if it did, you've heard Barry Hearn say it could go to a number of different destinations, perhaps on a loop or just change each year. The problem is you have gymnastics does it, swimming does it, athletics does it. That means you have good champs and bad champs. But this World Champs is good every single year.
Yeah, exactly. Why fix if it isn't broken? For me, it should stay. Yes, if it moves, you might get more money and things like that, but why can't you get a bigger prize pot here? I don't understand why we can't find a bigger sponsor for the World Championships to stay in Sheffield, to stay in the Crucible. That, for me, would be the icing on the cake for it to stay with bigger prize money. Obviously, it's not as easy as that. I'm not on the board. I'm not doing all the deals.
You should be,
but
if we just say one other thing, if it comes to the stage where we do move the World Championships from here, let's hope that a tournament can remain at the Crucible. Something like the Tour Championship would be tailor-made for this place, incidentally. So it wouldn't all be lost, hopefully. But we don't know what's going to happen, but we'll just got to wait and see.
Waiting is the word. Patience will be key for this one, and patience won't be necessary for the match because the second session between Jack Jones and Kyren Wilson will be getting underway very shortly. Kyren Wilson, he's looking cool, calm and collected. He's got himself a cheeky coffee. He's ready for this one, currently leading by 6 frames. The dream start for a man who came to this position in 2020 and fell short against Ronnie O'Sullivan. Not so far against Jack Jones. And talking about what happened in the first session, it unfolded in a way that no one would have predicted, not even Kyren Wilson. Let's remind ourselves of how it all happened.
First time since 2005, when Sean Murphy played Matthew Stevens, that were guaranteed a new winner from the final.
It's a good start. So it's
68.
He's got to play off the cushion. It's not quite right to knock the red out without playing a bit of stun. It's a great effort, isn't it? What a shot.
Kyren Wilson has hit the ground running with a magnificent total clearance of 129.
Never in any doubt, was it?
66.
So Kyren Wilson on top in the early stages, and it's Wilson leading by 4 frames to 0 as they head to the dressing rooms.
It's red and the snooker is required. The black to follow it, each frame over again.
67. 83.
It's going to take a good shot to get on the red here, either kissing the green or moving the red itself. He's played a little deft nudge on the green. Lovely, really nice.
It's looking good. It's looking good. There's a second total clearance from Kyren Wilson, 125, in full control now at 6-0.
Yeah, there is a reaction, and why not?
Wilson's going to play on, but looking like 7-1. Oh, he needs to be on the black. Oh dear. Well, it's looking unlikely now. Yeah. Well, the evening will be a serious affair. The afternoon has ended with a bit of levity. Jack Jones has won his first frame, but my word, he has it all to do when they come back at 7 o'clock. Kyren Wilson, a couple of centuries. He's played superbly, and he leads the world final 7-1.
It only took Kyren Wilson about 1 hour and 55 minutes to amass 7 frames in the biggest match of his life. He has 5 ranking titles to his name, but no Triple Crown title, and thus no world title. It doesn't get any better than this. And that scoreline there, 7 frames to 1 out, was how things ended. But how did it begin?
Yes, it began with Kyren producing something very special. You think of a best of 35 frame final in the World Championship as the early stage is not important. Well, not a bit of it, because this is the first pot of the match. Feast your eyes on it. Deep drag with the cue ball, total faith in his ability to knock it in it goes, and a nasty cutback black that there was absolutely no hesitation with it. Stays with the shot. Look at the cue staying with that till it dropped. I absolutely loved that piece of technique by Kyren. So he's off and running. We've been talking a lot this championship about decision-making. Kyren's decision-making has been in a different level from Jack's in this. I want to watch this shot here. Don't mess with the black, because you'd be playing it floaty, too soft. Get it punched in and get the cue ball up into this area, because this is where you can work from. There's a lot of area up there for Kyren. Don't even mess with the blue. Up he goes, into position, and he carries on his break from there. We'll just take it forward a little bit now. We'll pause this one. We'll just keep it there. See the red on the end cushion? Just pay attention to that, OK? Keep that in your mind. What's Kyren? 41 in front. Easy to get on that red, isn't it? But what's the best way to go about this break? Don't go near it. Don't flirt with danger. That red spells danger. So just keep that in your mind for a second for me, please. Now then, Jack, a decision that I thought he made a bit of a mistake. This red, the one nearest the pink, it goes in that corner. It's difficult to tell on that picture whether it can, doesn't it? But let's have a look. Jack decides to play on the red that's near the pocket, a bit floaty. I want to see him punch that one in. He doesn't deliver through it. He undercuts it and leaves himself in a bit of trouble. Remember that red that I was talking about? Kyren eventually gets his chance, gets about his work, and he's on that red, albeit the cue ball's on the side cushion, and it goes no problem. and he's on his merry way. Now then, remember the red on the end cushion. Scoreboard shot again. Where is he? 30 behind Jack. He shouldn't be messing with that red, but he does, right? That's a big mistake, because those 2 reds would have meant that Kyren would have needed the one up by the middle pocket. He makes the mistake. Kyren does the rest, and 2-0. Now then, let's get on to this. Because he's 4-0 behind at the interval, he comes out and decides to press here. I think early on in the tournament, the cue ball would be back up to Bolt for a bit of safety. But now he's 4-0, right in the mire, and he's got to press. When you do that, you hit it thick, you go into the pack, and the worst possible result, because Kyren stepped in and off he went again. The one thing I would end this touchscreen with, and just try to remember this one. 7 years ago, the great man Mark Selby trailed John Higgins by 6 frames at 10-4, and he managed to win 18-15. So all is not lost, but Jack Jones is going to have to summon up the unbreakable spirit of the great man.
Al, thank you very much indeed. And the crucial part of that final point, Rhian, is that was against John Higgins. Granite on the table. So if it can happen to John Higgins, it can happen to anybody. Whether it will or not is another question. But one question I had for you, Rhian, is that we spoke about Jack Jones possibly not playing the best he can play so far in this tournament, but he's been untested and unpunished so far. Kyren Wilson, almost the same, brilliant standard of play, but hasn't been tested yet. What happens if he gets under it, if he gets into Shredsville? How long would that take?
Exactly, that's what we want to see. We want to see this get a little bit more competitive and see what Kyren's got under pressure. The only one that sort of pushed him was John. And if there's no one worse to have behind you than John pushing you, making you under pressure. So Jack just needs to hopefully score a little bit better, get the first frame. He ended that session on a high, albeit just the 1 frame, but he ended it on a high. And he's got to think that Kyren's never been in this position before either. He's been in the final, yes, but he has never been the favourite in a final. So he's under his own pressures, and hopefully that will come into play for Jack as well. And obviously Jack's just go out there and literally enjoy himself and do what he can out there, because he's got nothing to lose. Kyren said that in his interview, so that makes him a dangerous opponent.
He really is. And you'd have absolutely no idea, by the way, he's getting ready for one of the biggest sessions, let alone matches, of his entire life. Also brilliant to see 2 players, both from the 90s, in the Crucible final. Another little bit of history there. But Al, for you, the first couple of frames crucial.
Absolutely huge. He's got to make inroads early in this session, otherwise he starts feeling like not part of this final. He's got to somehow get about it.
And let's get about it now.
Introducing a player who has produced an absolutely incredible run to a maiden major final, guaranteeing him a top 16 berth at the start of next season. He's under pressure tonight, but he'll come out and give this absolutely everything. So come on, Sheffield, raise the roof for the silent assassin, Jack Jones. His opponent, he's made the perfect start to his second world final. 2 centuries, a 90 and 3 other half centuries, continuing his fabulous form over the last fortnight. We have never seen him play this well. He believes this is his time to shine on the biggest stage of all, and he'll relish this opportunity. Here comes the warrior, Kyren Wilson.
It's England versus Wales, it's seed versus qualifier, it's favourite versus underdog. The warrior versus the silent assassin. Can Jack Jones climb Mount Everest? It's time to find out.
Session number 2 of the World Snooker Final, and 9 frames which will determine whether Jack Jones, making his final debut here at the Crucible, of course, can get himself back into contention, or whether Kyren Wilson can extend his lead to something close to unassailable. Wonderful atmosphere. What a roar, by the way, for Jack Jones as he walked in. They've really taken to the underdog here at the Crucible in this tournament. It was the same against Stuart Bingham. And he was able to raise a big smile as he walked in. He's in a world of trouble, but he's shown tremendous resilience throughout this tournament. He's going to need plenty of that tonight, and he's going to need to find some scoring, because Kyren Wilson has done what he's done throughout this tournament. He's looked so impressive, his all-round game, so strong. 2 more centuries for him, taking his chances when they've come along. Yes, he's missed a couple here and there, but he has been formidable in the match play department from the first round to the final so far. How are you feeling, Joe? Do you think we're in for a comeback this evening?
Well, he's a fighter, isn't he, Jack Jones? We know that. And if he gets chances, if he earns his chances, if Kyren Wilson maybe misses 1 or 2, because he did miss this morning. There's no doubt about that. He missed, but the problem is he didn't get punished. We've often said it, when you punish somebody's mistakes, it really does make them think.
He was able to raise a fist and a smile at the end of the first session with his only break of the session, 65, to get that elusive first frame on the board. Something to cheer him, but the rest of it was all Kyren.
This is a little risky, the shot that Kyren's playing here, with that red near the left corner. He could leave that red on if he doesn't get a good cue ball. Oh, that was a nice little rub, I think. He might be forced into taking this red on. He could screw for the blue, and there might be some safety in playing it that way. He's got to either get the pot or get close to it and screw to the side cushion. Well, he's got the cue ball. Well, it's just a little bit too hard, isn't he? He's played to bounce off the cushion, whereas he could have just played the cue ball to the cushion and it's safe. By bouncing off, he's given Kyren a chance.
It was a real statement of intent from Wilson at the beginning of this final century in the opening frame, the 450th of his career, the 50th here at the Crucible. He added another one, of course, to go 6-0 up. He's looked so measured throughout this tournament. He's played a really aggressive brand of snooker. He's gone for his shots. And, of course, he's had a quiet season, as all of the 4 semi-finalists have had, as he goes into the pack. But maybe that's played in his favour. He's come in fresh. He had a holiday in Portugal with his family ahead of the Crucible, got a couple of weeks practicing.
14.
And look at the results.
And what a split. I think the red will go to the yellow pocket. Certainly goes to the middle. Oh, that's a surprising miss. Now, this is what I'm talking about, chances. He's got a chance here. Now, in previous matches, he's punished, and that's hurt players. And he's got to try and punish now. Kyren opened the reds up, far and wide. And you expected him to win the frame there. This was a very unexpected miss, and he missed it by quite a way, really. Oh, that wobbled, it nearly missed. But he's in good position now. was about to say that it's a good ball to play for, the one by the pink spot, because if he does
6.
pot the black spot's held, it goes on the pink spot. He's going to have to go back down for the blue now.
This has
Not
already
ideal.
been a transformative season for Jack Jones. Remember, he's only been in one round of 16 in a ranking event all season. Regardless of the result here, he'll be in the top 16 for the first time.
Now, can he cue this red? Red near that left side cushion, just hindering him slightly. He missed a black into that pocket, that cost him the frame.
14.
Very nearly slid past the green, but he's on the brown. Now that red just below the pink would be an ideal red to play for. And if he plays for that, doesn't get on it, he's on a red to the left corner. And that's ideal. Choice of reds, that's what you want. And then you can choose the best one.
18.
Pretty handy set of
19.
results, that, isn't it? Zhang Anda has had a revelatory season. He took care of him with plenty to spare. Si Jiawei, we know about his heroics last season here. Also well beaten. Judd Trump, a stunning result against perhaps the player of the season, certainly in the ranking events. And Stuart Bingham, who's been revitalised in this tournament and took care of O'Sullivan so impressively, also beaten
25.
pretty resoundingly in the end. Such an even temperament. Manages to stay at a constant level with his game. Yes, it's been a struggle so far today, but nothing seems to faze him, whether he's playing well, whether he's struggling a bit. He just keeps plodding away,
26.
doing the necessary to, so far, get the job done. And if he can win this frame, and more to the point, if he can win this session this evening, then he's giving himself a chance tomorrow. And someone's got to win it, of course, because we've got 9 frames in this session, a further 8 tomorrow afternoon, and if necessary, 10 in the evening. 18, of course, the target.
Yeah, he's a little straight on the pink. He wanted a little bit more angle so he could stun down for the reds just above the black. He can still get to a red to the right corner, but he can't get close to it. Just needs to pull it back a few inches. And he's left with this tricky little red now, and that's simply because he wasn't the right side of the pink a moment ago. This is the red
39.
that Kyren missed. Otherwise these would have been Kyren's. And this all started just a couple of shots ago when he finished the wrong side of the pink from the easy red. And he should have made. He wasn't thinking 2 or 3 shots in front there. He was just thinking on the pink. And he should have been thinking right side of the pink, easy red, next shot. And this is stemmed from that shot so far.
Yeah. He has missed a couple with the rest already in this final. Three out of 5 so far, and this is not easy.
And so much pressure on the shot. Only 26 points in front, so has got a couple of safe reds though. Oh, that's a nice shot. That's a nice shot. He could have done with being on the cushion, the cue ball. He would have had a nice angle on the red then, but still.
46.
Good pink. Has a slight angle. Now, does he play for the black? Or does he play for the pink? Just checking to see where the black would go if he does play for the black.
$47.
Could have done with being just a little bit straighter. May have to play the cannon to the red, just above the black. Yeah, that's nice. And that's opened everything up. Nice little cannon to that red above the black.
54.
So 40 points, the lead. 2 reds, 2 colours. Should be enough.
$55.
And this is what he wasn't doing in the earlier session. He did get chances, but didn't really punish.
Well, I must say, he looked relaxed when he walked in and would have been buoyed, I'm sure, by the
60
level of noise in the Crucible when he was introduced. Of course, this crowd want to see a close final. They want to see a contest. Wilson was threatening to run away with it entirely in that first session. He may yet. But this is a promising start from Jones.
61.
Exactly what he needed. His dad on the right there, Colin, who's travelled the world with him. Been a support to him since he was in short trousers, making the usual financial sacrifices in order to see his son maximise his potential.
68.
So he must be very proud at what he's seen over these 16 days so far.
69.
So Kyren Wilson having a taste of his own medicine. He's been punished for his miss. Played a very attacking shot, didn't he, Kyren? Opening all the reds up everywhere. And then missed a relatively easy red to the yellow pocket.
75.
Yeah, it was a surprise that Wilson missed the red by the margin he did. He seemed to have done the hard work in breaking the reds. But it only matters if you're punished, and this time Jones has been able to do that with his highest break
Jack Jones, 75.
since the start of the semi-final against Stuart Bingham. And so the perfect start for the underdog. Back-to-back frames for Jones. Kyren Wilson now leading 7-2. So we'll have a look back at the opening frame, and initially, Joe, it looked like more of the same from Kyren.
Yeah, until he missed this relatively easy red to the right corner, I've got to say. He was bang behind it. And all the reds were open. You could feel another big break coming on there. This red nearly missed the opening red, but from there on in, he didn't really look like missing. Tricky little brown, but he got absolutely perfect position on 2 reds. This was another tricky shot because he didn't get the right side of the pink. And the pink to follow was an absolute super shot he's played. And that made everything relatively easy. Nice little cannon to the reds and couldn't have landed any better.
Back-to-back frames then from Jack Jones, the 65 to end what was a very chastening first session in his first World Final on a high, and a 75 to close the gap to 5. Another 8 frames coming this evening. Kyren Wilson carved out that 7-1 lead in just 2 hours this afternoon.
The 10th frame, Kyren Wilson to break.
A minor setback for him, but he's still, of course, firmly in control.
Thank you.
Such deficits have, of course, been famously overturned in the past. 1985 leaps to the front of your mind. Dennis Taylor at one stage 8-0 down to Davis, 9-1 down. We know what happened next. Of course, last year we saw in the semi-final the greatest ever comeback from 9 down. Oh, what a pot, what a pot, right in the middle. That's the first long pot that Jack Jones has potted in this final.
Yeah, good stat that, Phil. First long pot in this fight. He hasn't had many to go at, really. You know, it's all been Kyren Wilson. You can't pot balls if you sat in your chair. But a tremendous pot. And that last frame, giving him a little boost. Much needed. So you need to get closer to the object ball than this. It was such an easy green that he should have been closer. He should have had choice of 2 reds to both corners there. Now, if he can leave himself straight on this red to the right corner, he can get to the black. That looks just about right.
It's a big occasion, of course, for Paul Collier, officiating his 4th World Final and his last, before he takes up a role at WST as a director. His first was back in 2004 when Ronnie O'Sullivan defeated Graham Dott. He was 33 at the time, Paul. At that stage, the youngest ever to officiate a World Final since the pass by Marcel Eckhart.
12.
I spoke to him earlier, actually, and he said, yeah, there are a few butterflies, but you need that in order to be on your mettle for a match of this gravitas.
Yeah, he seems to be cueing very well now, Jack Jones. You can almost feel the confidence in his strike. But he needs to get them reds open as soon as possible. And if he could finish somewhere round about there, he could pot the red, open the reds up. Just needs to finish low on this next red. Either side is good, whether it's where the circle is or the other side of that red. Like so. Just needed a little bit more angle. I don't think he's got enough angle to open more reds up.
27.
And there you can see he's straight. So I've got to leave it this time. Otherwise it could be end of break. He's got an angle. He mustn't hold back here. He's got to really go into them at pace.
And don't forget to pot the black in the process.
Yes. Yeah, well said. Now he needs a bit of luck.
Jack Jones, 28.
You cannot afford to miss blacks off the spot. It goes without saying, really, but now, what's the damage, if anything?
Well, that's one element of the formula which is going to have to go for Jack Jones, getting a bit lucky as well as playing very well and seeing Kyren Wilson have his level drop a little. It's got to be that sort of combo when you're starting the evening. 7-1 down.
No attempt at the pot. That's interesting. I thought he could have played the pot, left the cue ball near the middle pocket. Couldn't leave anything but the red he's playing on.
Jones, the 9th qualifier to contest a Crucible final, the most recent since Ding Junhui in 2016. Of course, Ding started poorly against Mark Selby in his maiden final, was 6-0 behind, but got it back to 10-9 behind at one stage, and then 16-14 behind. Shows what's possible. Doesn't want that to keep running, that red.
No, I'm surprised he played it that side. He could have left the cue ball nearer the corner pocket and the red wouldn't have gone anywhere near. But it's very tricky, that red to the middle, and he's refusing it. Cue ball's close if it's got the legs, but it's an excellent safety.
All of Kyren Wilson's stats have been outstanding in this final so far, including the safety. He's at 88%. Jack Jones was described this week by Neil Robertson, 2010 champion, as among the top 5 safety players in the world, and you couldn't argue with that based on the quality of his tactical play in this tournament. But he's been outplayed in all departments so far by Wilson.
Yeah, they're excellent shots, I can tell you. He just caught the paint. Had to hit that red so thin. Excellent return safety. That red would have been the easiest one to play off. As it is, it's another thin one. Oh, wait for it. Now then, he's in again, Jack Jones. He's won the safety battle. He could have took a red on earlier, Kyren Wilson. Red into the yellow pocket, played the cue ball to the middle pocket, so he didn't leave anything but the red he was playing on. Refused it, got drawn into a safety. And Jack has won it. What can he do? Yeah, he couldn't get onto the black or pink, so left himself a nice angle on the blue to come in and out of baulk. Didn't want to be too straight on this blue, so give himself room to manoeuvre. And this looks pretty good. He's hit this well. And now he can get to the pink.
6. Seven. $13. 14.
Not quite the start that Kyren Wilson envisaged, but it was a really good return safety from Jones that forced the error from Wilson.
Yeah, and I mean, Kyren Wilson will be thinking, you know, don't hit it thick, the safety shot. Miss the ball, if anything, but never thought about cannoning that red near the middle pocket and leaving it on. I don't think anybody could have envisaged that. Very unfortunate to have got that kiss to leave Jack Jones in, but things have got to happen for Jack. And running 22 is one of them. Yeah, just not straight enough on the red, but it shouldn't be a problem to play for the pink. Now they can get to the black.
30.
Got to get closer, though. Make it unmissable. These are missable. I'm pretty sure he'll get it, but you don't want to be leaving it this far away. It makes the next shot that little bit more difficult, and it just compounds. 65 ahead.
37.
So just needs the red, and he's not ideal on it. He's got a red safe on the left side cushion, so that eases the pressure slightly. Yeah, good shot.
38.
So another frame is going to win at one visit. One visit snooker doesn't get any better than that. 2 chances, 2 frames.
$44. $45.
Actually, it's 2 visits, but he did miss the black off the spot, didn't he? But the second time around, he made no mistake.
52.
3 straight frames for Jack Jones. The red doesn't matter. The damage already done. What a start to the evening for the underdog. Listen to the crowd again. They're getting behind him. No wonder. From 7 frames down to 4.
Yeah, great thin safety. And that forced the mistake from Kyren Wilson. Playing to hit this red thin, missed it, but this is the unlucky bit of the shot. Catching that red and leaving it on to the middle pocket. Very, very unfortunate. But full credit to Jack Jones. He took full advantage. Left himself a nice angle on the blue there to bring that cue ball in and out of baulk. And he couldn't have played that any better.
Thanks.
And that was awkward, but it was the winning ball, and that's all he needed.
Game very much back on here in the World Championship final. Kyren Wilson 7-0 up, flying, outplaying Jack Jones in all departments. Jones seemingly affected by the biggest occasion of his life, his first World Final appearance. But crucially, he was able to end that session on a high with a break of 65. We saw him raise his fist and a big beaming smile as he got cheers from the crowd. He's come out this evening with even louder cheers, and he's made 75 and 52 to close the gap to just 4 frames, 3 on the bounce. And he's giving Kyren Wilson, Joe, something to think about now.
Yeah, and like we said right at the very beginning, he needs help, certainly needs help. I mean, Kyren Wilson, you know, he refused a red to the yellow pocket, which for me was like a shot to nothing. Couldn't leave anything but the red he was playing on. Okay, it was a little fortunate, Jack. He went into the pack of reds off the black and didn't leave anything easy.
Thank you. Quietly now, please. The 11th frame.
And those
Jack
kind of
Jones
things
to
have
break.
got to happen.
The momentum is shifting. Jack Jones with 3 straight frames after the 7-frame burst from Kyren Wilson. The first goal this evening for Jones would have been to win the session. Well, he's 2-0 up on the night, so that's a very good start with that in mind.
Well, we'll soon see how Kyren Wilson's feeling now. Well, it was close. It was close, so we know that he's feeling good. Had he got nowhere near this red, then you could say he's a little bit under pressure, but that was very close to going in. Now he has left a long red to the left corner. Will he take it on? Oh, didn't want the kiss. Although, I thought he was going to leave that red on, that he kissed, but it's gone fairly safe. Now he's got to get away with this. This is what's got to happen. He's got to get away with the misses.
The now very familiar setup ahead of his shot of Kyren Wilson. This is a bit awkward though, slightly hampered by the yellow.
Yeah, good pot. Good pot. He's in. He's in, and the reds are nicely placed. Ideally, he'd like to play onto that red just above the black, which frees the black. But risky to play for that red. Could have done with being a little bit closer to this red. there would have been absolutely ideal. Well, maybe you can get there now. No, it looks like he's playing for the pink. Well, I did say a moment ago he could have done with being closer to that red. And from an easy green like that to leave himself that far away from the red wasn't good. He's feeling it now. You look at that, he missed that by a week.
Yeah, he wasn't missing balls like that in the first session, that's for sure. And that's what the Jones revival, mini revival though it may be, has done. It's just made Kyren Wilson think a bit. That 7-frame cushion down to 4. Jones has begun to play, shown a bit of confidence again.
Yeah, he's a little fortunate there, isn't he, Kyren Wilson? Not to leave anything easy on for Jack Jones. Well, there's attacking and attacking, and that wasn't a good shot. You cannot afford to go for those kind of shots and leave an easy chance. You've got to play the cue ball into a place where you don't leave your opponent a chance at the red. So, another chance for Kyren. I like Jack's positivity in taking that red on. But there's a twofold shot, isn't there? You've got to play the cue ball safe.
Six.
And the degree to which Wilson missed the red into the left corner would certainly have left a scar or two had Jones made him pay. But now, of course, it's proved academic. He's back in with a chance to get that out of his system quickly. Re-establish a 5-frame cushion.
Seven.
Yeah, nicely onto the black. There wasn't a lot of room there, was there? Now if he could play onto that red, that is straight on now.
$14. $15.
Wilson said ahead of this final that he was ready for anything that was thrown at him. And I'm sure, given the way Jones has played in this tournament,
22.
that he was expecting a response tonight. He's had one.
23.
Now, does it go into the reds here? It's a good opportunity. If he could catch the red directly above the black half ball, they should split really nicely. He missed the red completely. Needs a bit of luck.
$30.
Another little tester. Well, I thought he'd missed that one.
31.
And I'm sure he did as well. But he's back in good position. No, he's missed it. Oh, I thought he had, and so did the crowd. Wow. I don't know how that's gone in.
38.
Catching that near knuckle.
Certainly we've seen a lot like that stay out in this championship. But it's a really important visit, this, for Kyren Wilson, just to restore his own equilibrium, having lost 3 in a row.
46.
Well, he's going to have to open them a couple of shots' time.
$47.
Now, how's your luck? He's on one. In fact, he's on a couple.
52.
He struck them very well. He would have been very unfortunate not to be on one.
53.
Jack Jones took on a really tough red, knowing that if he missed it, he was leaving Kyren Wilson a chance. And it looks like costing him the frame. Sign of the confidence he's now feeling that he did take it on.
60.
And Jones is an aggressive player. He might not be the quickest, but he doesn't take a backward step. He's prepared to take them on. On this occasion, it's not paid off for him. The blue's enough
61.
to leave Jones requiring a snooker.
Yeah, he had a couple of wobbles, didn't he, in this break? Very nearly missed the red to that left corner. And then very nearly missed the black.
66.
And they both went in.
And prior to that,
67.
he did miss a red by a wide margin. There's his family watching on, mum and dad. But that red proved not to be significant. I think it was a sign, though, that Wilson, even though
72.
he's well in front, is feeling it a bit. How can you not in a Crucible final? But he'll be feeling a whole lot better now for winning this frame and winning it convincingly.
73.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Philip. You know, that's going to do him the world of good. Because he was wobbling a little. Had that red gone in that Jack Jones took on, could have been a different story.
77. $78.
Already had 2 centuries in the finals so far. 125, 129.
$85. 86.
He's had 67 centuries this season. Second only to Trump.
$92.
Oh, what a pot. What a pot with the rest.
93.
Wow, how good is he with the rest? That was a tough pot, you know. He's got his mojo back.
This for his 7th century of the tournament.
Number 452.
$103.
So much for slow-paced snooker. This match is being played at under 16 minutes a frame. This one has lasted
107.
around about 11 in terms of being a contest. Wilson long having passed the winning line and making his 3rd century in the process. Great entertainment for this packed Crucible.
112.
Jack Jones' revival halted for the time being, but he's begun to play well. Wilson is playing superbly. And we could yet be in for a really cracking final as a contest. But for now, Wilson very much back in charge as he extends his lead back to 5 frames at 8 frames to 3.
Yeah, that was the red that Jack took on, which could have made all the difference. But missed it by a long way and left this red to the middle, which wasn't easy, by the way. And then all of a sudden he had a bounce in his step. Didn't quite get into the reds as he wanted, but had a red to that right corner, which really wobbled. Look at this red. Not sure how that went in, but it did. And the black that followed, I called it missed. But it dropped in. And how important were those 2 shots? Opened that pack of reds there beautifully and had to be on one. This yellow for the century.
A thrilling start to the evening. 3 frames have come and gone in no time. Jack Jones out of the blocks quickly. 75 and 52 to make it 3 on the bounce. Kyren Wilson showing just 1 or 2 wobbles, but how well did he respond when he got a second chance after Jones took on the very tough long red. His 3rd century of the match, his 7th of the tournament.
Kyren Wilson to break.
5 clear again at 8-3.
It's a good cue ball, which means this red to the right corner is very tough. And that bounce just a few more inches would have been worthwhile taking this red on to the right corner, as it is. Just laying up for the safety.
This is their 6th meeting in all, their very first in somewhat less auspicious surroundings. The Q School way back in 2011. Kyren Wilson coming from 3-0 behind to beat Jones 4-3. And of course Jack had a bit of a struggle in his early professional days, falling off the tour a couple of times. He was only 16 when he did turn pro and found that leap a rather difficult one to bridge.
Attempted double, Full-blooded, I might add. But hasn't left the red on. Could have gone anywhere. You just trust into luck. Well, did I say I didn't leave a red on? What a shot that was. And listen to the crowd. Wow, what a shot. And that puts fear into your opponents when you see them knock them in, I can tell you. Especially if you follow it up. Needs to keep running. It looks good. He's on that red just above the black. I think he's made his mind up, and you know, opponents can tell when a player changes his whole attitude, and that's what Jack has done. But he's got to carry it on now. Try and leave an angle on the black to open those reds up. If you can't, those two reds closest together will go to the middle.
Six.
Now, he doesn't want to play this with screw. It's more of a stun into that end red. The one above the black and to the right. Doesn't want to hit the one directly above it. But the one to the right of it, half ball. Pace. Yeah, too much stun. Yeah, too much screw on the ball. It needed to be stunned so that the cue ball goes towards that right side cushion.
13.
Well, from that amazing red, unless he can pull another one out here. Just the safety.
Jack Jones, 13.
But an intimidating 13.
Well, there's no doubt that Jones is a completely different proposition now. He's worked his way into this final. He's part of the final. Yes, he's still 5 behind. He's still in a precarious position, but I'm sure he must have got a tremendous boost from that ovation when he walked in tonight. You could see a big smile on his face. There's a lot of warmth towards Jones at the Crucible. That's been very evident in this tournament, and I think it's inspired him this evening. He's playing some of his best snooker of the tournament so far, actually. It's just that Wilson has been extremely good in that first session, and Jones inevitably feeling some first final nerves, but settling into his work now. It's going to be a very interesting second session. This, it already is.
Yeah, put a little circle up near the yellow pocket on Kyren's last visit to the table, and it would have been a very attacking safety to play the cue ball there. It would have covered the red that was in the balk area. Got to get this red past the middle pocket. Got to get it past the middle pocket or cover it. I think he's covered it. Yeah, just managed to cover it because he didn't send it past the middle pocket.
Collier taking the opportunity to have a look in case something goes awry here and replacement is required.
Yeah, and also to see if he can hit a red full ball for the 3 miss rule. Looks like he can hit a red full ball there. Just wondering if he can land up into the reds, the back of them. Yeah, that looks good. Nicely played. There's the red to the middle. It's a tough one. Well worth having a go at. Had it gone in, it could have been a frame winner. And he wasn't leaving anything. Now I've got to try and get this cue ball dead on the cushion. And if you can get it dead, it puts his man under some pressure. That's pretty good. Yeah, again, good speed with the cue ball, leaving it tight to the cushion. Little tap on the table there from Jack. Very, very good safety from both players.
Get that off, please.
Wow, he can just about see this. Again, played it much too hard. The cue ball should have been close to the cushion after he'd missed it. And that way it doesn't leave anything. By playing it at speed, he's left a chance. Got to drop these in dead weight. Leave the cue ball near the cushion. There was pressure on that, but he's feeling better now.
That's the point, isn't it? That would have been a whole lot harder, that red for Wilson, if he hadn't just made a century to get himself 5 clear again. And of course for Wilson, having carved out such a commanding lead, sharing these little mini sessions is plenty for him.
6.
The onus is on Jones to make inroads. And if Wilson can win this frame, he's done exactly that. Share the mini session. Job done, really. Still 6 clear.
7.
I like that. Job done. Yeah, but he's dead right. He'd like to draw every session from now on. He wins. Cue ball could have been a little bit closer to these reds.
11.
Yeah, not happy with the contact. And this isn't simple. The pink's easy enough. But getting to the next red, hampered. Yeah, that's not where he wanted to be, I'm afraid. Tough shot coming up.
Kyren Wilson, the world number 12. He'll be the lowest seeded player since Graham Dott back in 2006 to claim the title. Be his 6th ranking tournament success.
Kyren Wilson, 18.
Well, shouts have come on, Jack, but look where the cue ball is. He can't do anything from there. Very close to potting that red, but played it as a shot to nothing. If it goes in, he rolls up to a colour. If it doesn't, it's safe. Oh, what a good effort. But that was the main part of the shot, getting that cue ball back down the table. Now, can he get him behind the green here? Maybe tempted to take the red onto the middle, but these middles, I mean, Jack potted one into the left middle earlier. I don't know how he did it. But this, very tough, so I prefer to try and get him behind the green. Every time he comes to the table, it seems as though he's in trouble. But what about that? Forced into the pot. And if he wins this frame, listen to the crowd. If he wins this frame, he's done his job. 3-1. Long way to go. But what a shot that was.
Given the circumstances, one of these shots of the tournament. He was in a world of trouble there, and he's potted his way out of it. And having not managed to pot a long-range one in the first session, albeit, as Joe mentioned, that he didn't play many, he's knocked in a couple of crackers tonight. Now, can he make it pay? Can he win this mini session, get himself gradually back into contention in this final? That was some pot. Kyren Wilson would have appreciated the quality of that pot. Maybe at his best, the sort of pot that he knocks in.
Yeah, he didn't play the black very well, did he? Oh, that came close. That red to the left of the black is creating problems for him. If he could get rid of that red, then 4 reds go into that left corner. That's such an important red to get rid of. Could also play for reds to the right corner. There's no hurry to get rid of that red. What is important is that he wins the frame at this visit. And he'll settle for that, don't cover the black.
14.
Now, does the black go into the right corner? I think it's very tight, and if it is, he's only got the blue and pink to play with.
$15.
Now, it's easy enough, the pink, but if it screws into those 3 reds, he develops them. At the moment, they're in a difficult little position. Yeah, could have done with being a little straighter on this red. Didn't quite catch the reds full enough, but he's developed
21.
them.
$22.
Perfectly played. Now I think the red he was pointing at there will go to that left corner pocket. But if there's any doubt, the one below it certainly goes.
$27.
22 points the difference. He doesn't need that red that's on the cushion just above the middle pocket. Kyren Wilson does. Eases the pressure a little.
$28.
You see, there was no need to play that little cannon. He could have gone up for the blue, come back down for those 2 reds. Okay, he's a little bit unlucky, but he didn't have to play it. I think it's time to push something safe. If he could cue the blue completely, then it would have been probably worth taking on, but he's slightly hampered by the red.
Blue ball.
So maybe just push the blue to the cushion. I think I'd have wanted that blue safe.
Jack Jones, 28.
A good 28. Should have been more. I mean, he could have been on the pink after playing the cannon to the 2 reds. And that would have ensured him the win in this frame. I'm just saying that he was guaranteed to go up to the blue, come down for those 2 reds. That did go. Nothing could go wrong with that. Great attempt that to get him behind the green. And he may be forced into taking another long red on Jack Jones. And there's nothing safe now. He's just brought the only safe red off the cushion. Kyren.
he's already knocked in a tougher one than this, but this is huge for Jones. If he wins this frame, closes to 4. Game on.
That second kiss didn't do him any favours. So Kyren Wilson with a chance. Just 23 points behind. And nothing safe. It would have been okay, that, had he not got that second kiss on the red. The cue ball would have been further down the table. Here it is again. Good effort. But this little kiss there slowed the cue ball down. And that's not a happy smile, I can tell you. Yep, and he's got an angle on the green to try and get back down the table. Just depends what kind of an angle he's got. Well, there you can see he has got an angle. Can he avoid the yellow? Yeah, just managed to miss that red. I fear the worst for Jack Jones. He had his chance. Failed to get position on the pink. That's the shot that he played, and it's so easy to go down for the blue. Nothing could have gone wrong. Okay, it could have worked out. Yep, it could have been right on the pink. But he could have got the cover.
And you would think now that only the infamous Crucible pressure can deny Kyren Wilson a share of this mini session to retain his 6-frame advantage.
Cheers. 20.
Jack Jones started the evening superbly, playing easily the best snooker of the final so far. He was looking as though he was beginning to really enjoy himself, going for his shots, because he took on a red that was very tough and missed it, and that allowed Kyren Wilson just to shake off a few early wobbles in this evening session. Brilliant century, and now looking likely to emerge unscathed.
27.
Wow, what a very good positional shot he played there. It was nearly straight on the black. Longest frame so far in this session. I was surprised he played for the blue there. This is a more difficult ball.
33.
Yellow, green and brown for 9-3.
$35.
Jack Jones looking likely to be back where he started the evening.
Yeah, he got close, didn't he?
38.
To winning this session 3-1 when he failed to get position on the pink and then didn't put the blue safe, which he could have done. Extra insurance.
Frame ball. And it goes.
42. $47.
And you have to say, this has been a very controlled break from Kyren Wilson. There's so much pressure out there. But he's brushed that off. A terrific quartet of frames to start the second session of the World Final. Jack Jones has certainly played his part. He won 3 on the bounce from 7-0 down. But Kyren Wilson's responded, 9-3.
On the penultimate day of the season, it's a great time to reflect on some of the standout moments we've had on the table. And one of those very such moments happened at Ali Pali in January when Ding Junhui made the 7th 147 of his career. Now, I hasten to add that when we watched this back a few months ago, we could not believe how Ding Junhui did what he did. We know he made it, but watch the cue ball and watch the recovery shot. It was a work of art.
Now then, here's a Ding Junhui opportunity.
When I put the first red to the black and then take a look on the tables, there's all easy ones on the tables, and there's no balls on cushions. Think about trying to make maximum because there's a great chance.
I think the red to the left of the black will go to the right corner now. I know he's not on the red this time, but at some point if you can shift that red away, then there's nothing much to stopping. Yes, the red will fly. I don't know if there's a plant, those 2 reds below the black. I don't think they're on. Maybe they are a plant. Oh, goodness. I was going to say, good shot, but he was quite lucky that plant existed.
Well, he's still on blacks, and you've got to say that they are sitting nice here.
As you rightly say, I mean, there's absolutely nothing difficult about this, where the balls are placed.
40 years on from the first, Kirk Stevens in that white suit against Jimmy White in that unbelievable semi-final.
57.
There's 2 reds, and down to the left side it's not a very good angle because the one red is catching another red, so it's lucky to have an angle to move the first red to go to the pocket side.
This, I mean, really is as good a chance as you'll see.
He's made 6 in his career, 6 maximums.
These reds, he's got to be perfect on them.
96.
There's the century, but they're all willing him on for more.
This is the crucial shot of the break for me.
Black to the last red is could be anything, but it's to make perfectly to continue.
Oh yes, yes indeed.
Now it's on 8 more pots for a moment of history.
Also the last black to the yellow, yellow to the green. That's the end of the difficult side.
A little pacey, but not too bad. That was very coolly played.
3 balls to go.
That is okay, that is fine. What a moment this is.
Unbelievable.
The last bad, it takes a while. Take deep breath to make, not jumping so much my heart.
What a break. The crowd on their feet here at Alexandra Palace. It's such a rare break in this tournament. There's only been 4, and now that man, Ding Junhui, has made 2 of them.
When you have a 6-frame lead to begin a session at the World Snooker Championship final, what do you do? Do you try to protect it and risk playing negative, or keep pressing the accelerator? And the answer, as I'm sure we'll find out, is somewhere between the two. Kyren Wilson getting out of that mini session, possibly slightly relieved, 2 frames apiece. But as for us here in the studio, we are feeling rather lucky here because we are joined by, in every sense, one of the most beautiful trophies in all of sport. Rian, I mean, being so close, it's incredible.
Yeah, when you look up close, you can see all the history that's on there, and obviously, as you say, it was 98 years old, and it cost £19. What's it worth now, Radzi?
Yeah, right, exactly. It's absolutely superb. We don't want this to leave for the course of the next 24 hours.
I go all a bit unnecessary when that thing's in the same room as me. Oh, sorry, Raj.
No, I'm not going to touch it.
Yeah, right, exactly. We've got people behind the cameras, a lot of security here. But in terms of getting into the action here, so Jack Jones, Kyren Wilson, we said it was all for Jack to do. 3-1 ideal. He was so close to getting the job done. It wasn't quite to be, but a very first important frame for him to get on the board and get off positive.
Yes, it was. It was important that he let Kyren know that he was up for the fight in this final. We know that it's still quite early. It doesn't feel that way, but it is. And Kyren, right off the bat here, a terrific shot in the blue into the pack. The red spoils it a little bit. The cue ball meets the cushion, back out it comes, and that red kind of spoils it. But you still fancy him to knock this in. And he missed it by the proverbial mile. And then Jack steps in with a good red, actually. This is a nice red that Jack knocks in to sort of get his evening underway, and knocks in a nice 65 off it. So the ideal start in many ways for Jack, I thought, Radzi.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Jack goes on to win the next frame as well, which was crucial, meaning he'd won 3 on the bounce in terms of the last frame from the previous session. But then, Kyren stops the rot with a beautiful ton.
Yeah, this is what we thought. Kyren, under pressure by his opponent, not really been pushed in this tournament. But, yeah, I mean, a couple of these had wobbled, and maybe earlier in the tournament they maybe would not have gone in. And this black only just about drops, doesn't it, Al? And he's thinking, oh, right, I need to start focusing again. It sharpens the mind and the game. But this was a great shot. Lovely pace, hit the pack right on the nose, and ends up making that lovely century. You couldn't have hit this any better. You can tell he's still in a positive frame of mind. He's not over-hitting the ball. Yes, a couple have wobbled, but that he reset and cleared the table with a fantastic century.
We're saying all the frames are crucial at this point, Al. They certainly feel like they are. In frame 12, a crucial frame. But you were really impressed with Kyren's rest work.
Yeah, it's a terrific asset that he has, and it came to the party in a big way after a mistake by Jack on the back of definitely the shot of the match so far, because he's been pinned back there. He's got no path back to ball. The thing about that shot, if he misses it, the cue ball doesn't finish where it does there, because it takes a different path, and you pretty much guaranteed he would have left Kyren a chance. This cannon, though, he's got to jump all over every chance like that he gets. It goes wrong. He's just got to be mindful of keeping the cue ball in the open. He gets another half chance, and this time it goes astray. And Kyren, we're not going to see this red into that green pocket that he knocks in, but we'll see the black that he knocks in, which he plays on. Here it is here. It looks pretty straightforward, but it's tweakable in snooker players' parlance. But he makes no mistake. And when that goes in, the clearance is all but secured to keep that 6-frame buffer.
And Reed, just finally, something that you said to Al off air is the fact that granted it was 2 apiece, granted he's trailing Jack Jones as is by 6 frames, but he's playing more positive stuff.
Yeah, exactly. He showed a few shots there. He's playing the right shots. He's trying to keep a positive mindset. He just butchered that one a little bit. He just wanted to catch it a little bit thinner, get on the pink, but at least he's playing the right shots. As long as you know that you're in the right mindset, you're playing the right shots, you know that the form will get there. But yeah, he's got to keep keep going. And he could have done with 3-1, 2-2. He's still in this, so yeah, keep going.
Well, it is a weird one. It's still the same gap, the same deficit of 6 frames, but 9-3 doesn't seem as bad as 7-1 somehow.
Doesn't it? Numbers play funny tricks in our minds, don't they? And depending how long the duration of match it is. But you're dead right. It feels like Jack is now in the match. We've kind of almost forgotten about 7-0 behind. And let's hope he has. Myself and Rhiannon were watching him in between frames, sitting in the chair, just looking. We had a nice split screen of the both of them. And he looks really positive. He looks like, I'm okay, I've got it under control. Yes, that guy over there 6 in front of me, but I'm going to reel him in. And that's all you can do. Keep chipping away at it. It takes a long time to, what is it, one of those statues, you keep chipping away at it. Eventually you'll get there. You have to believe that it's going to happen, and he still looks to have belief in himself.
And after the mid-session interval, it will be 5 frames. This is a 9-frame session. 8 earlier on, 9 this evening, and it's scheduled to go 8 and 9 again tomorrow. As Alan mentioned, 6 frames behind Jack Jones, but something tells us he fancies the job. How much closer can he get to Kyren? Very shortly. So many moments in the World Snooker Championship over the years. It came to the Crucible in 1977. But let's take a look back at some of the fantastic moments of last year.
Snooker's greatest stage awaits the biggest match in our sport. So will it be Mark Selby for a 5th time or Luca Brissell for a 1st? And that's what you call a quick kill. 6 minutes for the opening frame of the final. Fantastic from Luca Brissell. He leads Mark Selby in the World Championship final 3-0. So Selby on the scoreboard. Luca Brissell has definitely made the running in this match, but things have just been clipped here. So it's advantage Luca Brissell. After session 1, he leads Mark Selby, the 4 times champion, by 6 frames to 2.
Wowee, a 134 total clearance. I think that's known as a statement of intent from the 4 times world champion to close the gap to 6 frames to 3. Incredible stuff. A spectacular start to the evening's entertainment here in Sheffield. Luca Brissell responding with 92 for 7-3. And now Mark Selby is 2 pots away from yet more Crucible history. Is he on the black? You bet he is. Magnificent. History made. The first ever maximum break in a World Championship final here at the Crucible. A wonderful moment for Selby and for this crowd. Luca Brissell still leads, but his lead has been cut from 4 frames to 1 at 9-8 overnight. Wonderfully unconventional. The Belgian bullet is firing on all cylinders here, and Mark Selby is back in the mire. A 3-frame burst with some scintillating snooker to move 4 clear once more. Little tap of his knee there from Selby, because this has been just too good. Luca Brissell looks unstoppable, he looks unplayable. That was a huge frame for Mark Selby to win. It could have gone either way. It was nervy, it was tense, but it's gone Selby's way, 13-10. Another outstanding session of snooker. At times he's been unplayable. When he comes back tonight, he'll need just 3 to be crowned world champion. He leads Mark Selby 15-10.
Selby has done what Selby does. He won a very scrappy frame, and then he came out and he made this century. A total clearance of 122. The final is a long way from being done. So a final that looked like a procession has turned into a genuine thriller. Mark Selby's won 5 on the spin. There's 1 in it. This is anyone's now. Luca Brissell stops the rot. He's 1 away at 17-15. This is the moment. Luca Brissell is the world champion.
Just look at this, Dave. Isn't it marvellous?
Full hand, Luca is the world champion. It's Brissell's title after a classic Crucible final.
3 sports to mark your card on Eurosport and Discovery Plus. And a quick note, 3 sports which will feature in the Paris 2024 Olympic Games is the Climbing World Cup from Salt Lake City. That's tonight at 1:50 in the early wee hours. It's the women's bouldering final, one of the 3 types of cycling, or rather climbing, that you will see at the Olympics. In terms of the cycling, though, it is the Giro d'Italia. We're now at stage 3. That's tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central European time. And then Grand Slam tennis. It's the Roland Garros. It kicks off on the 26th of May. And qualifying, by the way, you can watch on Discovery Plus, and that begins for 5 days on the 20th of May. Now, in terms of the action here at the Crucible, Jack Jones and Kyren Wilson, there's one thing that could potentially separate Jack from an unthinkable comeback, and that is self-belief.
You made your professional debut in 2010. You've been off and on the tour a few times. You've obviously had to work really hard. Have you ever lost belief in big moments like this?
No, funny enough, although I have had struggles and stuff, a lot of struggles, probably as much as anyone, I've never actually lost that belief, which is probably why things like this can happen. If you lose the belief, then you've got no chance. My parents obviously support me the way they do, keep me going. My wife as well, keep believing in me. So that's what it's down to, I suppose, and just keep working hard, and hopefully one day it comes.
Who's your biggest inspiration in snooker?
My parents, they're my biggest inspiration. Probably why I've never given up. All the effort that they've put into me when I was doing no good, throw it away, all the effort and struggles and financial struggles that they've put in for me, just wouldn't be fair. So I would never have done that. I would have always kept going, try my best to hopefully give them something close to what they've given to me in the past.
Is there a lot of thinking time? I mean, you must have thought about this, getting to this point.
Yeah, I suppose you have got a lot of thinking time. Having my dad here probably helps that, where if I was on my own, it would be a lot worse. Having my dad with me and having things to talk about, like I've said in previous interviews, we talk, although it's probably not a good thing, we talk about politics quite a lot, so we both have things to talk about in that way as well, so can kind of take your mind off it.
The amazing thing about Jack Jones, that interview there, I was actually up there watching that take place. He's such a cool customer. On the table, he's a cool customer. Off it, the same.
Yeah, Jimmy said he's a little bit annoying in that respect, isn't he? He's too cool. But yeah, you sort of need that in sport. You need to keep a level head and keep your feet on the ground, and he definitely does that. He's got a great family. I've known him years, actually. He was under the same management, travelling the PTCs years and years ago. And he's never really changed. He keeps himself to himself. He's a really likeable lad as well. He's just doing all the right things, and that's what you have to do, and that's where winners come from. When you keep you in your own little bubble, you don't get taken here, there and everywhere down which path, and he knows what he wants, and he's there to get it.
When Ronnie was sat here, he was talking about the Crucible. There's nowhere to hide. It's the full test. We've seen Jack have a number of questions asked to him. We've seen him in Stuart Bingham be a couple of frames behind, level, and do that on repeat, and he couldn't be shaken. When he's in the lead, he manages to maintain that margin, but he hasn't had a question like this of how do you really come back at somebody who seems way on the horizon.
Yes, he hasn't been asked to sort of come out of his bunker yet, so to speak, and have to go on the front foot and start attacking. We did see signs of it in the last frame, didn't we, Rhian, with the long red, that he could easily have maybe played a containing safety. The time hasn't completely gone for playing containing safeties, but it looks like he's prepared to now say, right, OK, still 6 behind, 5, but whatever, I've got to try and make something happen here. Kyren will be aware of that as well. There's a couple of safety shots Kyren played in the last couple of frames there where he hedged his bets a little, and it's not his way. So the scoreboard is affecting the way that both players are playing. And incidentally, thanks for sitting this trinket next to me, because I feel like Indiana Jones and sitting next to the Ark of the Covenant or something. I'm like, but yeah, no, it's good to see Jack back in this.
Absolutely right. So in the mini session, we were talking about it being 2-2, but if we treat the last 5 frames as that mini session, he's 3-2 up. And that's been crucial, because what that does is it lets us know that the comeback is potentially on. 7-0 it was at one stage, but there have been incredible comebacks in the Crucible over the years, going right the way back to one that certainly my granny used to always talk about in 1985, Dennis Taylor, Steve Davis. Dennis was in exactly the same position. and out, any of those there stand out that make you think, man, I'll never forget that moment?
I mean, I'll nothing against Jimbo, but the Stephen one in '92, I'd been a pro, and he was, you know, to win the last 10 frames of a world final, he potted a brown off the spot at 9-8 or 14-10. It was a miracle brown to keep it going, and it, you know, but they were all special in their own way. To be able to think that you're going to come back, never mind do it in the first place, is incredible in a final here.
Yeah, it really is. And one thing that we were talking about is the idea of other sports having huge comebacks. No doubt later on we might even make a comparison to those there. Now, one thing Kyren Wilson sometimes does is he focuses on his tip when he's in the back. I'm not sure if it's for kind of mental fortitude, to relax him or to distract him. Whatever it does, he's currently leading by 6 frames. And in terms of I asked you before what Jack should change ahead of this session. What should Kyren do now? He's maintained that margin.
Yeah, he just thinks, like, I'm happy to share the frames now. I've still got to stay positive. It's like Alan said, he played a couple of safety shots where he's not really thought about it. He sort of got out of the blocks a little bit and he left that shot on. And he's got to just think more positive in the winning mentality.
Winning mentality. Can he maintain it? 5 frames to go.
There's an exceptionally passionate Jack Jones fan.
Frame 13. Jack
Lady,
Jones to break.
a couple of rows up, giving it the big, come on, Jack, you can do it, at the start of the second half of this second session. Well, he's played a whole lot better tonight, but credit to Kyren Wilson, who was certainly put under pressure in losing 3 in a row, but has responded superbly. That 3rd century of the match for him, followed by an equally cool 60 break in a frame he might have lost. To restore that 6-frame cushion, it's a very big one. That was a long way off by Wilson standards.
Yes, and it could have run kinder for Jack Jones. Could have had an easier starter than this long red to the left corner, which he's looking at. Thought against it. So maybe try and get that cue ball in behind the brown. If it was tight in behind the brown, like so. And that just sends a message to Kyren Wilson that if you miss, you'll be punished. Well, applause for hitting the red, but he's left one on, and he's left maybe a chance to develop the black, push it towards that right corner. It could have been kinder. That black could have bounced a little bit more off the cushion, make it a little bit easier pot. These are very missable. Oh, look at that for a shot. Brilliant. Lots of right-hand side on the cue ball. Reverse side, it's called.
8.
To take the cue ball up towards the blue and the reds. Beautiful shot, that. So his first 3 shots have all been good.
No.
Break off, tight under the cushion. The snooker.
terms of what he's got to do in this second session, nothing has really changed for Jones. He has to win it. He still can, of course. It's 2-all on the night. 5 frames to come. Even a 5-4 scoreline on the night would give him some sort of chance on the final day. But you would think that's the bare minimum.
Just. The crowd were clapping long before the pink got to the pocket. They knew.
15.
He's got a choice here whether to go into them or play for that loose red. Will he get a better chance than this? He's banking on it. He will. Got to get top side of the blue.
21.
And that
22.
is not hard enough, I'm afraid. And that's the problem that you have. If you refuse to go into them when you get the chance, will you get another one? And the answer on this occasion is no. He's got to pull out a real special shot here.
Make sure he pots this pink in the process.
There goes the pot. Needs to slow down. If that red goes by the black, he's just out of position. And this is what I'm saying. 28. He had a chance to go into the reds from the blue, but decided to play for that last loose red.
Jack Jones, 28.
And at this level, you've got to try and win the frame at one visit, because you may not get another chance.
Well, that's a quantum leap in the right direction for Jack Jones, who at one stage was in the 60s with his pot success. Kyren Wilson has been in the 90s throughout.
Coming off the reds thick is a statement, but he's pushed a red over the corner. One good pot here, he's saying to himself. Oh, only just. But that is absolutely perfect on the blue. And if that red next to the black goes, he's in business. That's what he's looking at. If that red goes, he frees the black. And he's already got a 34-point lead with the blue. There you can see it does go, that red. Lots of left-hand side on the cue ball, and he's played it well.
6. Seven. $14. $50.
The red above the black and to the left slightly will go to the right corner. Doesn't have to play for that this time round because it's difficult to play onto it and get to the black. So he may play for one of these two that are close to the cushion. Very easy to get to that red from the black. The one just above the black, and that opens the whole table up if you can get onto that red. And that looks pretty good to me. Everything goes once he gets on this next red. Yeah, he didn't hit it hard enough, did he? Last time round, he wasn't straight enough on that red. Just wanted to drop it in, and now he's faced with a real tough one.
And there's nothing safe. No insurance for Jones. Big shot. No. Surely not. Not this time.
Jack Jones, 29.
He didn't have to take it on, did he? He could have pushed something safe, played a good safety shot, kept the pressure on. But he probably feels that he's got to win the frame at that visit, and I don't blame him. I'm just saying that would have been another option.
Well, this could be really hurtful for Jones. If Wilson can make him pay here, a frame that Jones looked very much on track to win. But that little cannon has just left things a little awkward. But this is an opportunity not only for Wilson to move 7 clear again, but really inflict some pain on that man. Slightly awkward bridging, but it's not a major problem.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Philip, that Trump and Stuart Bingham didn't really punish Jack when they got the chance. Kyren has been punishing, and this would hurt.
9.
And it came down to the black that he potted prior to playing the red that he did. He didn't hit it hard enough, didn't get enough screw into it, wasn't straight enough on the red.
$16.
He's underhit it. Could be a life here. He'll be hoping. Could have missed the green. Well, not quite hard enough. It's a rest shot. And we know how good he is with the rest. 35 points behind. This is a tough shot, though. Don't care how good you are with the rest. These are tough shots. A let off for Jack Jones. And he may have covered the red,
22.
but easy enough to knock the other red onto it.
On such fine margins of frames won and lost, that couldn't have got any closer without dropping. As you can see, the blue is in the way, but the red is right on the lip. Two for the price of one, and that doesn't hurt Jack Jones's cause. He's now 36 in front with only... Make it 37 in front with only 35 left.
Quietly, please.
Yep, he wasn't punished. Kyren Wilson ran out of ideal position. The last red he potted, he finished the wrong side of the blue. Had to send cue ball all the way around the table, and it wasn't quite far enough.
Well, it would have been a very hurtful frame for Jack Jones to lose. Perhaps even the beginning of the end for him, but he's won it. And he's hanging on in this world final. He's playing some of the snooker that has got him to the final. This is the very awkward rest shot that Kyren Wilson missed. He doesn't miss many. He missed that one. And it means that instead of restoring his 7-frame lead, it's back to 5. Jones back in front on the night, 3 frames to 2.
Jack Jones 17 on the frame.
Jack Jones wins a vital frame to close the gap again. Wilson 9-4 up. Another dramatic frame, Joe, that could have gone either way.
Yeah, what a good frame. And as you say, he doesn't miss many with the rest, but I did say that that was a very difficult pot. Got very close to it. Couldn't have got any closer, in fact, without dropping. But that left Jack with an easy little plant. And when the other one went in, that sealed the frame for him.
Quietly, please.
A big frame for Jack Jones to win, because it looked as though he might be punished. Kyren Wilson was in for a possible punishing clearance, but left himself awkwardly on his red. It was a tricky shot with the rest, even for someone as accomplished with that implement as Kyren Wilson is, and he just jawed it. And Jones potted 2 for the price of 1.
Thank you.
And that left Wilson
frame.
needing snookers, which he never got the chance to play for. So 9-4. 4 more frames to come in this session. Wilson could still emerge with an enormous lead, but he's still only halfway to getting the job done.
Where's that cue ball going to finish? It's just slid past the brown. I thought it was just going to rub the brown and cover this red. It's pretty straight, this red. So may have to screw the cue ball back slightly. Tough shot. Now, does he try to bring the black into play? Or does he play for the pink or blue? I don't think it's worth the risk bringing the black into play. But every player sees shots differently. You could think I can get the cannon perfectly and beyond the black. Played for the pink. Tried to cannon that red, which he did, but push it towards the middle. So having to play this more difficult red, and I say more difficult because he's got to screw the cue ball back top side of the blue. It cost him the last frame not getting top side of the blue in the last frame.
15.
That's how important it is to get top side. Oh, that's top side, all right.
16.
Really connected into that one. Decisions. Whether to go into them or play for that loose red. And again, just not quite hard enough.
20.
Wanted to be able to get onto the blue in a way that he can go into the pack of reds next time round. This looks good. This looks very good. What a great shot that was. He couldn't have placed it any better. What a great shot. And now he can open them reds and he might be able to develop the pink and the black. Develop the pink. And that has worked out very nicely. Okay, the black's still tied up, but he can win the game
26.
Here with the pink and blue.
It was another tremendous strike from Kyren Wilson, wasn't it? Keeping that cue ball in the centre of the table, which pretty much guaranteed that he'd be on a red. He's actually on a choice. Every time Jack Jones has put him under a bit of pressure this evening, Wilson has been able to respond to it.
Yeah, just looking to see how many reds will go to that left corner, and it looks like at least 3 will. So anything but too slow, and he's bound to be on a red. Perfectly played.
$33.
As you could see there, the pink would go into this left corner. Yeah, he wanted to be straight on this red, though.
40.
He didn't really want to be going into the reds here. So maybe play down for the blue off the reds. Try and guarantee being on a colour. Well, he's on the pink. A little fortunate, but he made sure he was going to be on a colour by playing for the blue.
46.
Made that maximum last year, of course, against Ryan Day before Mark Selby trumped him by making one in the final.
He really hits the ball hard, doesn't he? And he's the wrong side of the pink, so position not straightforward on the next shot. Difficult to get close to a red without going in and out of balk. And that's what he's done. If it keeps running, he's on a red to the left corner. And that was a very, very good shot he's played there. Wasn't sure about catching the knuckle in that green pocket. All the hard work's
54.
done. Just managed to miss the jaws of that green pocket. Cue balls come back down the table perfectly.
This has been another high-class break from Kyren Wilson. He would have been a little disappointed not to steal the previous frame, missing with the rest. It wasn't easy, but he would always back himself with the rest. But what a response this has been again. Every time Jack Jones thinks he's beginning to get some traction,
61.
Kyren Wilson responds in style. So 67 left. The best Jones can do
67. Sure.
is tie the frame. One more pot and Wilson will be into double figures.
Yeah, and he's happy enough to win one frame, lose one frame and carry on like that. And that should seal this frame, barring snookers.
The Wilson clan certainly approve. He's played so well in this tournament. Every match he's impressed. Of course, the big match for Wilson was against John Higgins, who gave him a real shellacking last year. He only won 2 frames out of 15. So it was real redemption for Wilson to beat Higgins in the way he did. And afterwards, John Higgins, effusive in his praise for how well Wilson cued. He said it was the best he'd ever seen him cue. And I think that's given Kyren Wilson a real shot in the arm, the extra self-belief that one of the greats was endorsing the way he's playing. And at the moment, even a rejuvenated Jack Jones is going to have an awfully big task to turn this around, because Wilson is just playing so well.
Yeah, he tried to bring that red next to the black into play there. What's he got up his sleeve here? There goes the blue, and there comes the red into play. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
87.
Now leave an angle on the black to bring that red on the side cushion into play.
88.
Just like that.
He really does deserve the century.
Beautiful, beautiful.
This is one of the best breaks of the tournament. It's come off the back of a slightly frustrating frame for Wilson, which he might have won. 96. What a response. Pure class. It doesn't get any better than that.
$102. 104. 107.
A little bit of flash coming. We like it. We like it. It's his 5th century of this final. That's terrific stuff, isn't it? And here's another one. Exhibition shot.
116.
The easy way to get to the pink.
Bang in the centre. What a break this has been.
122.
One of the centuries of the tournament from Kyren Wilson. What a way to hammer home your advantage in the World Final and move 6 clear again at 10 frames to 4. Well, from start to finish, Joe, that break was pure class.
Incredible, wasn't it? It really was. I mean, this was a good safety shot, but the cue ball just failed to get in behind the brown. Left that long red on, which wasn't easy because he had to screw it back for the black, and he actually overscrewed it.
What?
And the black wasn't a gimme. Believe me, it wasn't. This was a real special shot. He played to be on the blue, and he could not have played this any better. That was absolutely perfect, and he didn't hold back going into the pack of reds. You can see the cue ball going round the back of the black, finishing perfectly on the blue, and here's the smash. Look at that. And as Philip said, he held that cue ball in the middle of the table, which is what you've got to try and do. Don't send that cue ball towards the cushion. Brilliant break.
Kyren Wilson with his 8th century at the Crucible this year. None better than the one he's just crafted. It was chock full of class from start to finish, and what a way to respond to the slight disappointment he would have felt at not winning the previous frame. And every time Jack Jones just asked the question this evening, Wilson responds with something even better. And is 6 clear again, just as he was at the start of the evening. So it's 3 each on the night, 3 more frames still to come. And Kyren Wilson now within 8 frames of realising his lifetime ambition of becoming the world champion. Of course, this is the same score that we saw at one stage in the 2017 final between Mark Selby and John Higgins. Higgins led by this margin. It looked as though he was close to having his 5th world title in the bag. Selby turned it round, but key to that comeback was that Selby was able to win the last 3 of the session. So when he left the arena, he was only 3 behind. That's what Jones has got to try and do. Jack Jones then
Thank you, frame
back
15.
where he started.
All right, thank you now. Jack Jones to break.
He's playing a whole lot better. He's settled into this final. The problem he's got is that Kyren Wilson is playing better still. And that's why the deficit remains the same. And he wasn't thrilled with that break-off either. Shake of the head, bringing the red up the table, which he's covered.
Yeah, he's going to need little bits of luck like that. Because had he been able to see that red to the middle, it could well have been end of frame the way that Kyren Wilson's playing. May have left a red to the left middle, the one by the black. Could play for the black or the pink. That was a chance. I fancied him to pot that when you just roll in the ball to the middle. Not doing anything with the cue ball, just dropping the red in. He was nicely on the pink, and he knows that that was a chance. He's in Kyren Wilson's hands again. Yep. Now is he on the blue?
What?
Oh, nearly got the kiss. Here we go again. That's what I'd be thinking.
Six. Seven.
No, just wonder if he can play for that red next to the black. That would open things up.
Twelve.
Yeah, and that makes the black and now
13.
available to both corners. Pink spot not available, so that's where the pink goes. He's opening things up here. Oh, he's got hold of it too much. He's opened the reds up nicely.
20.
But he's got too much screw into the cue ball. Now, does he take the brown on? Looks like he is doing. These are not easy. Makes them look easy. Now, is he on one? I don't think he is, you know.
24.
Nope. Not on one. It's a little life for Jack Jones.
Kyren Wilson, 24.
Bit of light relief for Jack Jones after sitting out that magnificent century. Just a 24-point deficit. He's still got the opportunity to win this session. It feels like a must. And that is yet another very good safety. We've seen a lot of those from Jones in this tournament.
So maybe a shot to nothing here. Thin cut to this left corner. Cue ball's close. And cue ball's very close. He'll settle for that.
He held his hand up in apology there to Wilson in landing right behind the green.
Well, I don't know why he would do that, because, you know, he's played a good safety, hasn't he? Just because it's landed behind the green. Okay, he's probably played the cue ball to the cushion, but because he hit the red too thin, missed the pot by a distance, that's why the cue ball's gone behind the green. Yeah, give me a bit of help, he says.
Well, he doesn't need all that much at the moment. He's 6 frames clear, but this certainly is a bit of a pickle.
Sound like Maguire whoever said that.
A couple of spectators encouraging Wilson to close his eyes and have a bash, hope for the best. A la Stephen Maguire, who's been known to do that on occasion. Luca Brissell did it at the start of the tournament, and Flute won, if memory serves me correctly. It feels like an awfully long time ago, Joe.
It does, doesn't it? We've had some fantastic matches during those 2 weeks.
How much of the cushion I can see it? Through there, yeah.
That is an option. Very difficult. And twice across the table is also an option.
Foul. And a miss.
Wow.
Jack Jones 7.
Will he? He won't take the miss, will he?
Well, perhaps a little fortunate in landing bang behind the green, but now he's got to make the most of that, Jack Jones. He's got to make something sizable here. Keep himself in contention.
One.
His highest break of the final, 75, that he made to win his second straight frame, his first of tonight, which was bigger than any break he made in his victory over Stuart Bingham.
Eight. Nine. $14. 15. $22. 23. 30. $31.
Yeah, just travelled a little bit too far for comfort there. Wanted to be higher on the black to be able to manoeuvre the cue ball. Just a little straighter and slightly hampered by the pink. Match time just 4 hours.
Yes, there's been nothing funereal about the pace of this final so far. Frames lasting not much more than 16 minutes per frame, which, given what's at stake, is pretty sprightly.
$38.
Always nice to see those go in because they are missable. Not much emotion from his pop.
Oh, no. Oh, goodness.
All the hard work
Jack
was done.
Jones, 39.
A momentary lapse of concentration.
How expensive is it going to prove to be? He'll be trying his hardest to make him pay.
Yeah, that's going to sting, isn't it? He's pinning his hopes now on that red on the side cushion. Nothing else safe.
Wow, he's out of position, I think. So this frame not over yet.
8.
That wasn't a good shot. Well, I don't know why he tried to play the cannon to that red, because he could have held the cue ball without playing the cannon. But it's just a safety.
And a major reprieve for Jack Jones. It would have hurt
Wilson, 8.
immeasurably had he lost the frame to the Miss Black. As it is, it's still in the balance, just 14 between them. Oh, what a pot.
Yeah, great pot. Now, has he got the angle on the yellow to get back to the reds? Kyren Wilson could have brought that safe red off the cushion and played a safety, but decided to go down the left side of the table there, and he was always going to leave a shot to nothing. And Jack duly knocked it in. Couldn't get any closer to the reds than that because it was straight on the yellow.
3.
Another good pot.
4.
He is going to need that safe red on the left side cushion.
11. 12.
Now, can he drop him behind it? Not from there. He's going to have to play this with a lot of screw. Oh, it's too hard. It's too hard and too high. Although it has slowed down the cue ball.
19.
One good pot.
6 out of 8 with the rest in this final, but few more significant than this one.
And few more difficult. Terrific. Terrific pot. And recovered from that miss black, didn't he? He got some very good pots there. After potting the yellow, it was a very good shot on the red to the corner. Took it very smoothly.
Kyren Wilson was presented with the opportunity to punish him, and I think it could have been a potentially pivotal blow had he done so. As it is, he needs snookers, and he is snookered. 2 of them as things stand, assuming he hits this yellow.
Yeah, well, always worth playing out of the snooker because you just never know. You can hit it, get it safe, hit it and get a snooker. Anything can happen. Yeah, what about that? What about that?
2.
He's got the bit between his teeth, hasn't he?
Jack Jones 2.
Wilson waits, ponders, and concedes. This is turning into a great night of entertainment for this packed Crucible crowd. The gap is down to 5 again, 10-5.
Yeah, this is where it went wrong for Kyren. He played the cannon to that red, which would have left him on 2 reds, but didn't catch it thick enough and played the safety and left a shot to nothing on. OK, he got a good cue ball, but he could have brought that other red into play, the one on the cushion safe, because he needed that. But what a pot this was from Jack Jones. Just wriggled in. And finished nicely on the yellow, although straight. And this red down the cushion. How cool was he potting that? Just rolled it in, gave it every chance of dropping. And what about that to finish the frame off with? Brilliant pot.
Kyren Wilson led 7-0 at one stage, and there was a very serious prospect that this would be a bit of a no contest, but it's anything but that now. Yes, Wilson is still very much in the driving seat, 5 clear, but Jack Jones has really begun to play this evening. What a vital pot this was, very missable under pressure with the rest. We know how good Wilson is with it, but Jack Jones showing once again, yet again in this tournament, that he can handle the pressure, and he's just keeping himself in with a sniff. He's still got a lot to do, but he's giving it everything in a bid to turn this final around.
The 16th frame. Kyren Wilson to break.
Yeah, just think, Philip, if he could win the next 2 frames, 10-7.
And it's not as though Kyren Wilson's level has dropped, by the way. He's played some outstanding snooker this evening. That 1-2-2 break for 10-4 is as good as you'll get. But Jones is playing some terrific stuff as well. Yes, he did miss the black in the previous frame and got a reprieve, but how well did he take that reprieve? And there's another cracker. He's flying now, is the Welshman.
Oh, what a shot. What a shot. He's got the bit between his teeth. Look where the cue ball is. It's close to being dead on the cushion. And he stroked that in as though it was easy. And this is what Kyren Wilson's been doing to him.
4.
Black will go to the left corner if he wants to play for it.
Fine.
This is a completely different player now, Jack Jones. He's got his belief back. Had a chance in the last frame, Kyren Wilson, to punish. And played a cannon to a red and didn't get it. Or didn't get it thick enough anyway.
It just shows how quickly the momentum can shift, because if Wilson had cleared up there, as looked quite possible,
12.
then that would have been a very deflating moment for Jones. Plus, he'd have been 7 behind again. It's just changed the narrative of this session. For the time being, at least,
13.
Wilson could still, of course, emerge with a 7-frame gap, the one he started the evening or the afternoon with until Jones took the final frame of that session. But equally, it might just be down to 3 frames, and then it really is game on the final day. And that's a lovely split from Jones.
How confident was this? Look at the cue ball. Look at the whiz on the cue ball, bringing it back for this red to the corner. Wow. If ever a man is inspired, it's Jack Jones.
21.
But mustn't miss any more easy balls, because he won't always be let off.
$28. 29. 36. 37.
Yeah, groans from the audience, knowing that he's the wrong side of the blue. But the way he's playing now, I'd be amazed if he didn't pop that red into the right corner. But he's given it a chance to happen by not being the right side of the blue.
42.
This is definitely a tester. If he wins this frame, he's won the session.
Yeah, he's looking good, isn't he? Still no emotion from his dad. Maybe that's where he gets it from, that coolness.
Well, his mum, Debbie, can't watch. She can't watch him live, can't watch him on TV. I gather she came up for a couple of days to do his washing and then headed back home
48.
again. Said, tell me the result. I'll watch it if he wins. Well, he's certainly doing his mum and dad proud in the way he's shown this now familiar fight from an extremely precarious opening.
Yeah, and what can Kyren Wilson do? He made a good break off. He got that cue ball close to the baulk cushion.
49.
And then he sees his opponent just float that red in for length of the table. Nothing you can do when your opponent plays like that.
He's been 8 out of 10 from long range tonight,
56.
Jones. Having not potted one in the first session. Barely got a look in, really, in the first 7 frames. 1 or 2 chances that went begging, but it was all about Kyren Wilson just monopolising the table. Tonight has been a different story. Wilson has continued to play well, but Jones has come to life. And he's very close now to getting to within 4 again.
Well, he's showing why he's in this world final, isn't he?
64.
Inspired snooker. That's all you can call it.
Well, this has actually
65.
been arguably his best snooker of the entire tournament, which is a compliment to how well Kyren Wilson is playing. Because even if he wins this frame, he's still going to be 4 clear. But in terms of fluency and the quality of his potting, this is as good as Jones has produced over these 16 days. And this frame is now surely his. And this final is coming alive.
71.
That's the red that he knocked in from the break-off. Doesn't get any better than that.
79.
And it would be really nice for him to make a century, his first century of the final. He's down at 25 seconds a shot now.
84.
I think he's quicker than that, actually.
85.
His highest break of this final so far.
90.
No.
No century, but a fine break launched by a brilliant red from Jack Jones, who is well and truly back in contention here. Kyren Wilson leads 10-6. Well, all smiles, Jack Jones, and he's clearly enjoying himself now. He really is. He's still 4 frames adrift. Kyren Wilson is still in the driving seat, but things are beginning to change, Joe.
Yeah, what a great shot that was. From a good break-off, you've got to say. Terrific pot. And it won in the frame. Didn't need another chance. Just needed that one good ball and took it from there. This was another terrific shot. Look at the screw on that cue ball there. And he's playing now like he does in practice. He's just enjoying this match. Even though he's behind, he's enjoying it. And that's a dangerous sign for Kyren Wilson, I can tell you.
Jack Jones has won the session. So the initial assignment for this evening has been achieved, but if he could win this last frame to make it 6-3 on the night, he's within 3. Exactly the deficit that Mark Selby faced when he played John Higgins in the title match in 2017. And of course, Selby went on to win 18-15. But Jones is playing some tremendous stuff now and really enjoying it. He was all smiles at the end of the previous frame, sharing one or two words with some of his fans in the crowd, of which there are many. They've really warmed to him here in the Crucible, and he's responding. I think he's really enjoying, embracing this final experience now. He's still got a lot to do against an opponent who's playing superbly himself. But, Joe, I think Kyren must be wondering what he's got to do to subdue Jack Jones, because the 1-2-2 he made for 10-4, I mean, it might have knocked the stuffing out of the Welshman, but if anything, it's inspired him.
Yeah, and don't forget, he missed that black off the spot to give Kyren a chance. And immediately he played the cannon to the red and went out of position. That was a really good chance at that stage for Kyren Wilson to really impart some pain. And it would have hurt Jones, there's no doubt about that, had he won that frame. But what could he do about the last frame, Kyren Wilson? He broke off. He left a good cue ball close to the cushion. And Jones won the frame from it. Amazing. And like you say, he's enjoying it, but he's also inspired. So if he gets a chance, he's going to do some damage for sure.
Thank you. The final frame of this session, Jack Jones to break.
It's been a thrilling session of snooker, worthy of any world final, and Jack Jones is going to break off in the final frame of it, looking to close the gap to 3. And who would have believed that when he trailed 7-0?
Not the best break-off, though, from Jack Jones. Cue ball not close enough to the cushion. This red sticking out is a chance. Now, has he been affected? Not according to that.
Anything you can do, says the warrior. What a pot.
Yeah, good pot, but you expect them to pot them when the cue ball is not close to the cushion. And Jack will be disappointed with that break. It's given Kyren Wilson a chance to start imparting some of his personality into this game.
Five.
2 reds just above the black. Could be the ones to play for, doesn't have to, because the other one leads to the black as well, the one to the right of the pink. And that's the one he's played for. Look at that. That tells you how good it is. 92% for Kyren and 90% for Jack.
And that means Jones has raised his percentage by over 20 in this session.
11.
But this is a chance for Wilson to end this session on a high and maintain what would still be a very commanding lead to put him within 7 frames of the world title.
18.
Look at how tight it's been tonight.
19.
Punch and counter punch comes to mind. Neither player wanting to give an inch.
$26. 27.
The only certainty is that a a 23rd player will be crowned world champion here at the Crucible at some point tomorrow. The first time that there'll definitely be a new name on the trophy since Sean Murphy beat Matthew Stevens back in 2005.
34.
Both players searching for their first world title. Wilson, of course, in his second final.
Oh, very close to going in off. But
35.
He's finished okay on the green. It's missable for sure, but it's potable. Chance to keep the break going. He's missed it. He missed it by a long way. And listen to the crowd. All of a sudden, this game isn't as easy as it was for Kyren Wilson. I'm sure Kyren didn't expect Jack to come out this evening playing as well as this. 90% pot success.
His whole demeanour has been different this evening. Of course, it started with the last frame of the first session. It just gave him something to build on, making a frame-winning break. We saw him, ironically, pumping his fist. Crowd responding, big smile on his face. I've got one at least. I seem to remember Dennis Taylor putting his finger up when he got his first frame against Steve Davis back in 1985. Well, that's one. At least I've got one. Well, he managed to get another 17 after that. And Jack Jones has cut a completely different figure this evening. He's looked relaxed, he's been smiling, he's been embracing the occasion, enjoying the final, enjoying the battle.
6.
And it's reflected in the scoreline. He's won 5 of the 8 tonight. Wilson's played some great stuff himself. Can he make it 6 out of 9? Then he is truly back in the hunt.
Well, he is going to need that red near the left side cushion, but it's not too difficult where it is. Potted one harder than that to win the frame a couple of frames ago.
12.
The only thing that surprises me is where has Jack Jones been?
19.
The way that he's playing. He's playing top 16 standard.
Well, he's guaranteed to be in the top 16 regardless of the result of this final after getting this far. Started the tournament as world number 44, the second lowest qualifier to come through after Robbie Williams.
20.
The lowest ranked player since Murphy in 05 to get to the final. He wouldn't be the first player to suffer in the early frames on his World Championship
26.
final debut. We saw it with Ding. But he's certainly warmed to the task now.
27.
Can he finish this session on a high?
To be fair, he doesn't look like missing, does he?
34.
Could have done with just being a little harder there. May have to go down for the blue again. Got to get the right side. And he's
35.
the wrong side, which puts pressure on the next red. The way he's playing, you'd expect him to pot it, but he knows that he should have been the right side of the blue. That blue takes him 5 points in front.
40. 41.
Still plenty of work to do, though, for Jones. He's only 6 in front. Absolute concentration required. And he's still got that slightly awkward red to negotiate on the side cushion.
48.
Got to leave an angle on the black. Ooh.
49.
All of the pocket again. And that looks a good angle to drop in behind the red.
I think he thought he'd missed that. He was up very quickly, willing it to drop, and it did.
The black puts him 21 points in front. Another red and a black.
$56.
Just the black needed. And the only problem with this is that he's going to be on the yellow. If he gets it, he's going to be on the yellow if he misses it.
The biggest shot of his championship so far. It's there, it wobbled, but it dropped. One snooker required for Kyren Wilson, who led 10-4, courtesy of a magnificent century, and seemed to be ready to pull away to an unassailable lead. What a response from the Welshman, Jack Jones. Well, that was in. It looked in and it came out again.
Jack Jones, 64.
So just one snooker. Not safe yet. So we don't know if he's snookered as yet. I don't think he is. The green has gone into a nice spot for snookers. It's going to be close, this. Oh, what a shot. And this isn't easy to hit. And this would really hurt if he should lose this one, Jack.
And there's nothing safe to save him. Everything's there to be potted for Wilson.
I said straight away, as soon as he hit the green, it's gone into a good spot. Now he's got to think about where the cue ball's going to finish if he misses it. He doesn't want to play it too hard and leave the yellow on. if he misses the yellow. If I were him, I'd try and leave the cue ball on the baulk cushion if I miss the yellow. And I'm sure he's thought of all of that. He's pretty good, you know, getting out of snookers. But this is a tough one. It's not far away. Excellent shot. Full ball. He hit that one full ball. What a shot. And the correct speed as well. Had he missed it, the cue ball would have been on the baulk cushion with no chance of a pot for Kyren Wilson. He's a cool customer, this young man.
It was a terrific hit, wasn't it?
It was a great snooker, wasn't it? Two great shots from two great players.
Not out of the woods yet, of course. It's still only the one snooker needed.
Well, that's a snooker, full ball. And again, it's missable. Big swerve, this big swerve. Now, he didn't think about that enough like he did the last one. And he's missed it, and he's left a chance at this yellow for Kyren Wilson. Not an easy one, for sure.
Dad can't watch. This was a very tough swerve, wasn't it? Needed to get a lot of action on the cue ball. A late twist in this final frame of the session.
Where's that cue ball? Oh, he could have done without that knuckle. It's turned this green into a tough pot and positional shot. Had it missed that knuckle, it would have been relatively simple to pot the green and get onto the brown. Heart in the mouth time for everyone.
I think it's even harder for those watching than it is for the two players down there. Going through all kinds of pain at the moment.
Great with the rest, but this is high intensity pressure. He's played it well, very well. Brown to blue, not simple. Pink to black, not simple.
Tough moments for Jones. He must have thought he got himself back to within 3 frames. Now he's just got to sit and hope.
That is not the best shot he's ever played. Should have been closer.
How much pressure on this shot?
And how much on the next, because he's going to leave himself a long pink.
Needs the 3 colours for a monumentally big steal.
Right in the middle.
14.
Well, he's backed himself to get this pink, Kyren Wilson.
Long way off.
Yeah, and it could have gone anywhere, couldn't it, that pink? It just shows you nerves can affect anybody. And when it comes down to safety, Jack Jones has been a master at the safety this 2 weeks.
What an end to a thoroughly compelling session of snooker. Jack Jones just needs the pink.
Cue ball.
Oh no.
Cue ball.
Oh no. Oof. That would have been calamitous.
Well, similar type of shot. If he takes it on. Oh, this time it goes in. And where's that cue ball going to finish?
6.
Oh, wow. Would you want this? Would you want this?
To lead by 5 going into the final day of the World Championship.
Couldn't have got any closer without dropping. But look where the black's gone.
Families with heads in hands. Drama that only this wonderful, historic Crucible Theatre can create.
Yeah, good shot. No, excellent shot.
Crowd getting a little overexcited, understandably. This is snooker entertainment at its finest.
That's a good shot. That's where he's played the black two, halfway up the cushion. And black somewhere behind the black spot. Cue ball back down table in the balk area. Well, he's gone the other way around. He's gone the other way around. Is it hard enough? Just.
A rueful grin from Kyren Wilson. Fractions can make a chasm of difference in this sport. Jones knows he's dodged a bullet there.
This is one of the most difficult shots to get safe. And that is as good as he could get. Thinking of coming in behind the black and sending the black down the table. It could go in the middle. It could go in the corner. Well, can he be tempted? Can he be tempted by this black? It's a tough shot. And there should be distance between them if he misses it. I think it's worth a go for him. It's whether he thinks it. We'll tell you if it's in. No, it's not exactly safe. Overcut it by a distance. Well, what excitement. And another thin cut if he wants to take it on.
That is mighty thin. So thin you might miss it in trying to pod it.
And thin enough for it to go in off as well.
Yeah, no control of the cue ball. It'll be racing around the table, wary to take it on.
Delighted. He's delighted with that.
Imagine if we had this scenario tomorrow at 17 each.
Now, will he come in behind the black again? Can always go in the middle pocket. That's why you can play this shot. And if it misses the middle pocket, it's safe on the black cushion. Always worth playing it. Now it's that same shot again. Remember, he played it a few shots ago, halfway up the cushion. He's just hard enough. He's just hard enough. If I remember rightly, he won 5 black ball games against Si Jiahui.
One of which was a respot.
Yeah, if it comes to black ball games, I think you always fancy Jack Jones. He's just got that grit, determination. Now, will he play the double or the easy safety? It's the double. He's got a good cue ball, and that's what he played. He played that good cue ball. Now, this still isn't an easy shot for length of the table. Any fingernails left?
Shake of the head from Jack Jones. Is this the final shot of the evening? It's there, and it's a session of snooker to grace any world final in any era. Wonderful entertainment for this Crucible crowd. Jack Jones has fought back valiantly. He's won the session by 5 frames to 4. But Kyren Wilson has taken a dramatic final frame on the black, and look what it means, a fist pump from the Warrior. He's 7 frames away from the World Championship title. He leads overnight, 11 frames to 6.
Two men who've both not won a world title. This potentially has all the ingredients of a modern classic. Two men born in the 90s and showing us that snooker's future is absolutely assured. 5 frames now the difference, Jack Jones and Kyren Wilson. And now, that frame there, it felt like a final frame decider. What on earth is going on?
It's this thing here that does it. I keep saying it, I've been saying it all night. Listen, we'll get to the decider. Jack Jones, every credit. I mean, he'll be devastated. But he's won the session. He's won at 5-4. He'll be devastated to be 5 behind instead of 3, which it should have been, because Kyren needed a snooker. But what a match we're having. I'm just looking now, the average frame time, 16 minutes. That's kind of what you want. This is a belter and it's getting better.
It really is. And Rianne, starting the day, if you spoke to people in the public, they're excited because it's the final. If people don't know about snooker, they'd say, is Ronnie playing? Is Judd playing? And you could go, well, we don't have any headliners, any blockbuster names. I'll tell you what, it's delivering.
Oh, that session of snooker was top-notch. That deserves a final. I thought it was back in 1985 again for a minute, but no, absolute fantastic. And you could see, which is what I said from the get-go, he needs to enjoy himself, and he was loving it out there. He put Kyren under pressure, and you could see him getting a little bit flustered and missing shots and making mistakes that he wasn't doing as often. But, yeah, hats off to Jack. He put up a great fight. And as Al said, he definitely deserved a bigger lead than that. He was winning frames in one visit, which he hasn't been doing, but regular as well.
Al, that black ball, how many shots were on that in the end?
We count 15, wasn't it? Wow. Which doesn't sound a big number, but it actually is when you consider they'll go along about 30 seconds a shot, and you know, times 15, you know, it's 7 or 8 minutes. So there was a lot of tension, and just thank goodness that wasn't the decider tomorrow night, because I would have been, I wouldn't even be here. But this is what the Crucible does, you know. It provides drama. From an innocent-looking situation, Jack should have got the frame in the bag. You know, Kyren needs a snooker, and then all of a sudden, it turns into an epic frame. And I mean, for the match, let's have a look at it. Here we go. The snooker that Kyren lays. I just wonder, Rianne, the only thing with playing the swerve. Now, Jack's not that tall a guy. He doesn't get this. The only thing about it, you're leaving the cue ball a bit in the open, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. As you say, he's not that tall, and it was nearly a full ball snooker. So in order to get a lot of movement on the white ball, you need to hit it a little bit softer as well. And obviously, you're just hitting an open, hoping you're going to hit the yellow and hoping you're going to leave it safe, but that didn't happen. But yeah, there were so many twists and turns. It was like watching a tennis match, wasn't it? Back and forth.
Yeah, this is one of Rianne's shots, this Raji, the straight blue. And this pink's one of mine. I mean, you know, it was nearly like the 4-cushion and in the same pocket, but proper Shredsville, wasn't it?
And this is when the drama really begins to start after this goes in.
Yeah. Yeah, it does, and the cue ball's coming down. As it's on its way down, Kyren's family, and he, more importantly, knows where it's going to finish. And this is the one, there's a bit of movement, just a tiny bit. He almost... See, when you try to guide something in with your body, really, it doesn't work, does it?
No, we've all tried it many times.
He tries it here again.
Yeah, but
Jack, sorry.
I say he actually caught that quite well, but he needed a little bit more pace. I think he's worried about the cue ball rather than the black ball there. But yeah, just if you go for the double, you need to give it a little bit more. So if it does rattle, it does come away from the pocket. But even that last black, I know it looked easy on your TVs, but a little bit more pace, and the white could have been going near that middle pocket, and then Shredsville again. But no, that was a fantastic finish to that session.
Al, when you're... Maybe this is a generic question that doesn't have a one answer, but when you're trying to cut a ball in, especially a black ball, should you try and roll it or should you hit it hard? Because a few times, both guys got lucky in terms of where the black ball finished, but that isn't always the case.
You play it at a pace where you give it a chance to get away from the pocket, but that doesn't mean you play it with a lot of pace. But it's a good question, because I'll tell you what I always tried to do, which is probably the wrong thing, because I always missed it. But what I tried to do was pretend you're playing a positional shot. That black, the cut back Kyren's had, I would like to play that and pretend there's a red on the green spot, let's say. So what I'm going to do, I'll pot the black and I'll just drift up tail for that red. And it kind of takes the pressure away from the... But it's easy to sit here and say, but what I would do was, right, OK, I'm going to pretend there's a red up tail. I'll cut the black in and I'll be on the red. But what I'll do is I'll make sure of the pot. That's the theory. You know, to take away the importance of the pot, but still concentrate on it. But that's just theory, you know. Yeah, it didn't work, did it? So that's why I'm sat here.
Well, it did. That's why you won the Masters, Al. But, Rhiannon, I do wonder as well, when we saw Kyren on that pink, talking about the sort of the importance of shots and the tension, I mean, he twitched on a big shot, even though at that point he's however many frames, 4 frames in the lead or 3 frames in the lead at that point.
Yeah, I thought if any ball that he was going to twitch a little bit was the blue, because it was a little bit more straight and obviously needs better cueing. But the pink, I just think he hit it a little bit too hard. We say he's got such a solid cue action, but he put in a little bit of a quick action, and if you hit the ball hard, it's just going to go straight into that pink, and that's what happened. And I did say he might go for the cock tap, but I was only joking.
Just looking back to the Dave Gilbert match with Kyren, remember the brown? Ronnie was saying top it through off a couple of cushions because you can stroke it more.
Yeah.
If you go deep with Rhiannon knows, all snooker players know, you go deeper when there's pressure on because you want to hit more volume of cue ball, as I term it, so that you're hitting it with a more solid strike. But it might not be the best way. Sometimes the best way is to just try and roll with it and play a kind of more of a stroking shot, wasn't it? It was it's more of a like one of those, you know, and then the cue ball doesn't go in the intended path.
I just wonder tomorrow when we start again, gents have a chance to go to sleep, hopefully be recovered tomorrow. Actually, if Jack might be more up for it because he's now in this match, there's no sense of embarrassment, there's no sense of being overexposed in the Crucible theatre. Actually, he's got something to lose in the sense of he's never won a world title before or any ranking title, but actually, it's there. He knows he can play here.
Yeah, definitely. I think he would rather play through the night now when he was feeling great out there. But, yeah, he's going to sleep a lot better tonight for sure. If he comes out and plays like that, he's going to put a good test to Kyren. And Kyren was looking like the one who was going to twitch a little bit more, which showed towards the end. Got a little bit lucky to keep that 5-frame lead. So, yeah, for me, I just hope he comes out and enjoys it again. He was smiling to his family and giving himself a good talking to and like saying, yeah, well done, pat on the back. And that's what he needs because it can be lonely out there. Even if you're winning, sometimes you just need someone to say, well done, Jack, keep going.
I mean, 3 things about it. He all of a sudden is playing the way he wants to play in the final. You know, if you'd asked him, you know, he's playing with freedom now. The other thing is he's enjoying it. That's the second thing. But the most important thing, and this is only my opinion, it looks to me like he thinks he's going to win.
Yeah.
When he's sitting, and that is very telling. You know, you're right about the sympathy, not sympathy, but you know, oh, I feel sorry for him, and if it goes really, really bad, which it could have done, but it looks the opposite of that now. He looks like, Kyren, I'm going to reel you in, pal. It might take me a while, but I'm going to get you, and that's a thing. That is a real thing. And Kyren, you can sense because he was getting flushed out there. You know, he was getting rosy cheeked. That's what happens. We know that. And that was part of what was going on, certainly the last couple of frames when he was being reeled in, and he was really, really worried and concerned.
And even Rhiannon, that fist bump at the end, he looked up at his family. That wasn't a guy that was saying, come on, get in celebration. There was relief there.
Yeah, that was pure relief. That's the first time we've seen that from Kyren, so it just shows what pressure is on his shoulders. He'd say he's the favourite. This is new territory for him. Yes, he's been in the final, but not been a favourite in such a big lead. And for some reason, if you get a big lead, it's yours to lose. So all the pressure of being like the favourite, big lead, first World Championship trophy, it's all to play for. But all Jack wanted, he said in his interview, I want to give him a test, put up a fight, and he's not giving it him like he did in the first session. He's not like giving him the chances so much. So that's all you wanted to play. You want your opponent to work for their opportunities, and that's what he made him do in that session.
Some of the best statements that you see from players out there are the ones that aren't actually said at all. It's the look in the eye. I loved the handshake there. Jack kind of looked at him. It was like, I'll see you tomorrow. That's what his eyes were saying. He wanted to look Kyren in the eye. And Kyren was kind of, thanks, mate. No, we're not mates. We'll be mates on Tuesday. But tomorrow's all business, and I've got you in my sights. It was one of those, wasn't it? And that there's so much going on in this final. I'm so glad that we have a competitive final to look forward to tomorrow.
Absolutely. It really is delivering, by the way. And that 5-frame deficit, what does it even matter? It's been absolutely fantastic on the base, and it will continue tomorrow. Scheduled for 2 more sessions. It kicks off in the early hours of the afternoon, 1:45 Central European time, 7:45 and then who knows how late it will go into the night. Could it be another final frame black ball decider? And as for us here in the studio, got good news and bad news. The great news is we're going to be here again tomorrow. But Al, the bad news is the trophy might not be here.
Oh, thank goodness, because I can't take much more of it, honestly.
But we can take much more of the snooker. It's been absolutely class on the bays in that battle between the silent assassin and the warrior Kyren Wilson. But there can be only one 2024 champion. And who will win? There's only one way to find out, and that's to watch us. Same time, same place tomorrow.